All right, are we good? Are we live? I think we are. Hello all and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat Live. Today we're back for more UWCL action and it is our first triple header of the season. We kick off today's triple header with a very exciting clash. We've got 4 games all at once. We're going to be focusing our attention as Chelsea take on Tottenham. It's first versus third, which I think when we initially scheduled to do this stream, we didn't expect this to be somewhat of a top of the table clash almost, Harry, but Tottenham's first start of the season should make this a very interesting game today.
Exactly that. I mean, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but if Tottenham win today, they will top the WSL. That is an absurd statement, but massive credit to Martin Ho and the work he has done with that Tottenham team because they are flying at the start of the season and they will take the game to Chelsea today. A Chelsea side that are still unbeaten domestically under Sonia Bompastor. It certainly hasn't been easy and it hasn't been convincing at times this season, but they're still top of the league. Today is going to be a massive, massive test. Tottenham will come out. They'll want to win this game. I think this will be the closest London derby between these two sides we have seen in the last few years. Usually, we get used to Chelsea just turning up and steamrolling Tottenham by putting a few goals past them. But I think today, Tottenham are going to make this a very, very interesting game. And Chelsea are going to have to deliver a very, very good performance if they want to get something out of it. They've got to bounce back from the midweek where it wasn't good enough. Tottenham, they will just be hoping that if they Tottenham play the way they have all season, this will be difficult for Chelsea. I'm not saying Chelsea wouldn't win it, but I think that Tottenham will make it difficult. So yeah, I think we're in for a great game. It's a massive one. The winner will go top of the league. If Tottenham top of the league after today, that'd be crazy to think where they were last season. But yeah, I think it's going to be a very, very competitive match.
Yeah, absolutely. Rise and welcome to the stream. HB, welcome to the stream. Says try giving Liga a chance, but Barca ruined it in 2 minutes. Yes, that tight top of the table clash. And a little bit slowly, there will be a concern about the way that Chelsea will break down Tottenham today. Tottenham are a very difficult side to break down. They're a good defensive team. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with that. It'll be interesting to see how Tottenham play today. I think we saw in the City game that despite Tottenham's good start to the season, it can all go wrong quite quickly, and they were embarrassed in that match. So they'll be hoping to avoid that today, and Chelsea will be hoping to put on a show like Man City did in that game. But what City did is no mean feat, and it could be quite difficult to replicate that. So it should be quite interesting, Harry. And let's start then by taking a look at the lineups. We are, of course, at Kingsmeadow Stadium today, so we'll start with the hosts, Chelsea. Looks like a 4-2-3-1 continuing what was used in the game against Twente in the week and what was used last weekend against Manchester United. In goal, it's Hampton, a back four of Carpenter, Bjorn, Bright and Neve Charles. In the pivot, it's Walsh and Erin Cuthbert. On the left wing, Alyssa Thompson. On the right wing, Joanna Ritton-Carnreid. In the 10, it's Vika Kaptein. And leading the line, Aggie Beaver-Jones. This could be a three-back line. I'd be very surprised if it is. I think the only way it could be is if Carnreid is playing left wing back and Thompson's at left wing, which would be a bit of a surprise, but I wouldn't rule anything out this season so far. What do you think if it is the 4-2-3-1?
I think it's an interesting decision. I have to say, when Chelsea have used the fullback, I haven't been convinced this season, to be honest. You think back to the Villa game where it was really poor, especially in that first half when Chelsea wasn't good enough. The United game was a bit tighter and could have gone either way. Twente, again, in the midweek, wasn't good enough. So it's an interesting change. I think Chelsea have looked much better when they played the three-back, but Bompastor and Chelsea have got to settle on a system. You don't win football matches by tossing and turning between systems in a certain way. Obviously, if you're adapting your system game on game based on the opposition, then that's not terrible. But Chelsea at the moment don't feel like they're doing that. It more feels like they are just chopping and changing to see which one works better, and Bompastor isn't fully settled on what she wants to do. Chelsea should be able to set up a system and then beat everybody in the league. But I think it's not particularly comfortable for Chelsea. I've not been convinced by the four-back, so I'm intrigued to see how it's going to play out today because, it's not been brilliant to start the season when it has been a four, and when you expect Chelsea to get a result today, and I think they need to get a result. Of course, it's a big game. It's interesting that Bompastor hasn't gone for the three-back when there's been such a stark contrast in performance between using a three and using a four.
I disagree somewhat. I think I understand why you make that comment about contrast in performance. I think it's contrast in results because the games we've used to fall back this season are the draw with Manchester United and the draw with FC Twente. But there were chances, clear-cut chances in both those games that could have been taken, whether it was a 3-back or a 4-back. It doesn't change the fact Hermano missed from quite point-blank range against FC Twente, or that Captain missed and Beaver Jones missed from point-blank range against Manchester United. So I don't think it'll be too bad. I think when you look at how the areas in which Tottenham have struggled today, it's really important that there's wingers on the pitch. Because if you look at the Manchester City game, and that's the only time we've seen Tottenham torn apart, really, the biggest thing City had was width. They were able to hurt. I mean, you look at getting in behind that right back. It was Grant in that game. It'll be Neville today, but it's a similar sort of thing where if you can get Thompson in behind Ash Neville, then Thompson's through on goal because Ash Neville's not making that ground up. So I think if you can get her running at Neville and then on the other side get Carnreid running at her compatriot Amanda Nilden, I think you can really hurt Tottenham in those wide areas. I think that's been their weakness so far this season. So you can do that and then fill the box with options arriving to the edge like Cuthbert, like Vika Captain as well, and then obviously Viva Jones breaking into the penalty area. You're going to have a good chance there of breaking down Tottenham. But yeah, so I think having width is really important. So that's probably why the 4-2-3-1 has been prioritised or has been utilised. But I think it'll be very interesting to see what Chelsea look like.
Yeah, I think it's one of those where it really depends what Tottenham are going to do, because I think that my biggest criticism of Tottenham has been that they've been a little bit one-dimensional in terms of the way they stop opposition. So I think you mentioned that City game, they were so focused on stopping Khadija Shaw and stopping things centrally that they allowed City to have the ball out wide. Maybe today and that's maybe they'll change it today, but that's going to be the biggest test, is that they've got to be able to defend both. When you play against big sides, you can't focus on one part of the pitch because they've got players that are good enough to hurt you in other areas. So if Tottenham do try and close Chelsea out wide today, Chelsea are just going to come through the middle and have loads of opportunities, and vice versa. Tottenham have got to find a way today to limit Chelsea. But yeah, there was a lot of joy for City in those wide areas. They didn't manage to get Shaw in the game, but it didn't matter because the wingers had an absolute field day. Firmino was superb in that game, and that's what Chelsea have got to look at. Is if Tottenham try and defend your wide areas, you've got to bring the ball inside. If Tottenham try and defend you narrowly, then get that ball out wide and try and put pressure on the penalty area.
I think Tottenham will try and be narrow and compact. I think that the question will be how they defend transitions, and that's where they've been hurt most effectively, is when teams can break in behind. I do think Tottenham will likely drop their line a little bit deeper today to sort of accompany for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. They didn't against Man City, to be fair, and they got hurt. They got stung in that game. So I wouldn't be surprised if Martin Ho has learnt from that and is slightly more defensive today. But equally, with how bullish he's been in games this season, I wouldn't be surprised on the flip side if he doubled down. And we're going to play a high line. We're going to play our style of football. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Which you've got to sort of respect the brazenness. But if it comes at the detriment to the side today, that could be interesting to see what happens. And let's talk about that Tottenham team then, because a couple of changes to the 11, so it's interesting to discuss. In goal, Lisa Kopp, of course, keeps her place. It's a back four of Neville, Koga, Hunt and Nilden. That partnership, especially between the centre-backs, has been really effective this season. In the pivot, it's Sonnen alongside Olga Artinen, with Spence dropping out of the side. On the right wing, it's Naz. On the left wing, Matilda Wimberg with her first start of the season. And in the attacking midfield position, it's former Just player Beth England for leading the line, Katinka Tanberg. Very interesting then, the Tottenham lineup. Olivia Holt dropping out of the side. Drew Spence dropping out of the side. Ash Neville keeping her place as well. Wimberg in for a first start. What do you make of the changes?
It's really difficult because I think that what Ho has done here is he's gone off recent performances and he's played the players that have done well against Tottenham. Because to be fair, Jess Naz did look much better against Brighton. Jess Naz did look much better against Brighton, and so did Ash Neville when they came in. But how can you not play Olivia Holt today? She has been one of their best players this season, probably behind Tanberg and Koga. So how can you drop her for this match? Wimberg coming back in, I think that's massive. Very, very dangerous player, and interesting to see what she can do from the off. I think that's still a bit risky. So to start Wimberg back from injury just like that, and to start Naz, who although looked better against Brighton, hasn't been brilliant this season, over Olivia Holt, who has been superb in every match, I find that one really weird from Martin Ho, and I think that's a potential oversight because Olivia Holt is the kind of player that can hurt teams like Chelsea. Tottenham were really poor against Man City. Who was the one player that scored and looked pretty good in that game? It was Olivia Holt. She's the kind of player that can cause problems for any side in this division. So to not start her today for me is an interesting decision. But If Naz plays like she did against Brighton and Vinberg looks sharp, then maybe it'll turn out to be the right decision. But yeah, for me, I feel for Olivia Holt because again she's playing well, but she's still not starting every single match.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I don't think rotation's too bad. I think this is an interesting game to do that rotation.
Yeah.
What I will say is in pre-season, we saw a lot of Vinberg on the left and Naz on the right. And then Vinberg picked up a knock in that final pre-season game and has missed the first few weekends. So I think this is less of Holt getting dropped and more that Vinberg is the preferred option. And now that she's back to fitness, she's going to start most of the games. I think there will be a lot of rotation in there. I mean, Holt's had such a great impact off the bench, and I'm sure that'll be something that Martin Ho will look to utilise today. But yeah, I think that is an interest. I think you make a point. Holt probably deserves to start today, but if Vinberg is the preferred option and she is fit to play, I do think she's a slightly better tactical fit with how she's going to push inside and become almost an attacking midfielder to allow Nilden then to hold the width. Well, players coming out of the tunnel. So let's get into scoreline predictions then. If you're watching along to the show, well, firstly, welcome Phil, welcome Chris, welcome Rimple as well. Good to see so many people hopping in the live chat. But yeah, welcome to the stream. If you're watching in the live chat, get involved. Give us your scoreline prediction. We're going to start here in the studio, though, and we'll start with yourself, Harry. What's your prediction for today's game?
I think it's going to be a tight one. I really do. I think Tottenham will make a game of this and make Chelsea work for it. But I'm going to say the champions, just to edge it. I'll say Chelsea 2, Tottenham 1. I think it'll be a really close match, but quality will prevail come the final whistle. I think it will be Chelsea to open the scoring through Aggie Beaver-Jones. She cannot stop scoring at the moment. It will be a Tottenham level up from Beth England against her former side. A bit of a bittersweet one for her. But then I will say in the second half, late on, Chelsea to win the game, and it will be a Carnery goal, massive goal, chopped inside, puts in the back of the net, 2-1 Chelsea. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good contest. Champions just to edge it.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm a little bit conflicted because on one hand, Chelsea never lose or struggle against Tottenham in any way. But on the other, Tottenham have scored in every game this season. So something's got to give there. I do think it'll be a comfortable win for Chelsea, though. I'm going to say Chelsea 3, Tottenham 0. And I think it'll be a return to a very dominant performance for Chelsea, a very needed dominant performance as well. I'm going to say Alyssa Thompson to get her first goal. I think there's going to be space down that wing today, as good as Ash Neville was in that game against Brighton. I'm not entirely convinced by her in that role, and I think that pace mismatch today is going to be painful. I think Beaver-Jones will get back to scoring form after what's been probably a difficult spell or difficult last week. I think the Twente game didn't really have an impact. The United game, she missed a big opportunity, but she did score in the 4 games before that. So, yeah, I think it'll be a return to scoring form for her today, and I will say the other goal to come from Erin Cuthbert. Loves a goal against Tottenham.
Yeah.
I think could be a bit of a screamer. Hits it from range, manages to find the top corner, just out of the reach of Lisa Kopp. A few predictions in the live chat. HB going 3-1 Chelsea. Phil letting us know he'll keep us updated on Everton United. I think that'll be interesting. I do think United will probably win about 4-0 though, because I've not been convinced by Everton at all this season. Welcome to the stream as well. Brex going 3-1 Chelsea. Need a reaction after the Twente draw. Absolutely. I think there'll be a desire to keep a clean sheet today, but it probably will be difficult given that Tottenham have scored in every game they've played.
Yeah, it is going to be difficult, and I think that a lot of people will look at the Man City game and say, "Oh, Chelsea should turn up and absolutely smash Tottenham today." But I think Spurs would have learned from that, and they'll look to maybe they won't. But I think the smart thing I'd expect Tottenham to do today is maybe lose a bit of an attacking upside to just be more defensively solid. And I think that's why it could be a little bit tighter and be more, a lot more difficult for Chelsea than it was for City. It is also meant, fair to say that it could be tight for 70 minutes and then Chelsea run away with it. We've seen that happen time and time again. It's kind of what happened in the Tottenham City game where Tottenham did put up a bit of a contest at times and then City just had these spells where they scored 2 or 3 goals and put the game to bed. But I think that there shouldn't be an expectation for Chelsea to come out here and from minute 1 and absolutely play Tottenham off the park, because I don't think Tottenham will let that happen. They will be in this game at times. They will be competitive, and there may even be spells that Chelsea just have to hang in there a little bit. It's going to be a close game, but as we know, Chelsea's quality should probably come out on top. But it's, as I said at the start, I think it will probably be the closest game we've ever seen between Chelsea and Tottenham because of the way Tottenham are playing right now.
Yeah, probably, and it will be Tottenham to get us started at Kingsmeadow. Bob going 4-1, Rising going 2-1 as well. So at the moment, most predictions going the way of Chelsea. It's Tottenham to get us started here, though. Katinka Tamberg from the middle, waiting for the referee to even show up on the pitch. and does now get us underway. Knocks it back to Sunderland underway in this game. Tottenham taking on Chelsea here at Kingsmeadow. Chelsea looking to extend their lead at the top. Tottenham looking to jump them in the table. Didn't think we'd be saying that this early in the season.
Go Tottenham.
Well, for now, obviously Man City
Yes.
could go ahead of them later today. And given Liverpool's form this season, perhaps should go ahead of them later today. But yeah.
Join us for that Gareth Taylor masterclass later on.
If he's going to win one this season, it's going to be that one. Kano trying to play the ball forwards, comes off a Tottenham player though, and they are able to execute a lovely up, back and through in behind, but it's unable to pick out Jess Naz, and that's out for a Chelsea throw-in on this near side. Phillies going 6-0 Chelsea.
Wow.
A very different prediction to what Joseph has said of a Tottenham win. Fair enough.
So Naz on the left, Lindbergh on the right.
That does make any sense to me.
No, again.
But we'll see how it works.
Yeah.
And it's Tottenham with possession with this throw-in. Ball forwards looking for Tanberg. Now back to Nilden, who just wants to dink it in behind, but Bright there as the deepest defender. And it does look like the back three for Chelsea to start. Hampton into Bright. Now Charles. Or perhaps just a situational back three. Trying to go down the left-hand side. One back there by Thompson. And now here come Chelsea. Charles. Walsh. Charles. Now Bright. Knocks it back to Hampton. She'll go direct now into Ellie Carpenter, but that was poor from Hannah Hampton. Getting too much on that and it's had a play for a throw.
Yeah, Tottenham, they've started high. They're going to be aggressive. They want to come on to Chelsea. Tanberg especially, we know how dangerous she's been. Hunting down Hampton there, forcing the error. But it's going to be a big test of Tottenham's backline today because I've been very impressed with the City game. I think that they've all done extremely well. Especially players like Nilden, who have really struggled last season, but this season have had a massive upturn in form. Ash Neville, who had a torrid season last campaign, but came back in the Brighton game and looked really comfortable. It's big tests for those kind of players who Claire Hunt against another one who's looked really good, but up against these better quality sides, can they still remain that top level of defending?
Yeah, that will be the big question. And now Thompson with her first chance to run at Neville. And she beats her quite easily. Then chops back inside. Dangerous for Thompson. Chance to score. And it's off the far post. But that was a lovely drive inside from Thompson. And well, already getting one over Ash Neville early on in this game.
And that's what I'm talking about. I mentioned there, Ash Neville, really poor defending. Gets beaten and then panics to try and recover and just slides across. Thompson reads it, sees it coming and just cuts inside. That's too easy for Neville. And Tottenham get away with one because you cannot allow Alyssa Thompson to cut inside like that. But a good start from Chelsea, and that's where they're dangerous, in the wide areas. And yeah, Tottenham got to defend better than that. One-on-one defending has to be sharper than that from Ash Neville.
I think you can argue Alyssa Thompson probably should have done better with the finish.
Yeah. But
I think, obviously just wide of the mark, but probably with the amount of time she had there.
Yeah, she didn't really wrap her foot around it. She kind of just blasted it across the goal and blasted it into the stand.
Tottenham playing out now, and it's Toko Koga. Very comfortable in possession across to Neville. Goes down the line, and a 1-2 with Wimberg isn't completed, and Welsh now has possession, but high pressure from Tottenham, tries to win it back. Brilliant from Welsh there to resist the press and hold on to the ball. And now Chelsea looking to play out. Here, Hannah Hampton. Across to Bjorn, who wants to carry it forwards into midfield here. Nice stuff from Bjorn. Now to Carpenter, who overlapped well. Looks to play it down the line. Great pass into Conreid, who wants to cut it across the box. Hunt gets across well, but it's out for a Chelsea corner.
Yeah, good foot from Chelsea. 2 passes and Conreid's away down the right-hand side. And this is much better, though, from Tottenham. Hunt does well, gets across here, sees that Conreid's going to put the ball in it and gets the body in front of it. That's the kind of one-on-one defending you've got to have against Chelsea. Be sharp. Be dynamic, but also make sure you're pretty close. And it's hard to get right, but really good defending there from Hunt. Chelsea corner. Good start, though, from Chelsea. Exactly what they needed. They've been bright.
Yeah. Ball into the penalty area. Headed on, and it's just wide there. Not sure who actually got the final contact. I think it might have been Natalie Bjorn in there. Just heading it wide. Not a bad set-piece routine, though. Brecht posing an interesting question, saying, is there any surprises in this Chelsea lineup? I think, because I look at the squad and perhaps not. Maybe Conreid starting, but equally she was so good in that West Ham game.
Well, I think that it's...
Pass out to the left-hand side. That's misplaced from Lisa Kopp. Nilden tried to get there, but it is out for a Chelsea throw. And that would allow them to keep the pressure on half the field.
Yeah, it's difficult because you've got to weigh up who obviously played it on Wednesday, but also who's playing well. 'Cause, you went. I know United, but when you have drawn back-to-back games, you've got it. It's hard to pick an 11 sometimes.
Yeah, that's a great drive. Lovely dribbling from Matilda Wimberg then. Wants to find Jess Naz. Wider on this left-hand side. Holds the ball up for now. Naz goes back into Summonen. This has been quite an interesting feature of Tottenham's play this season, because traditionally when your left back wants to get high and you push your left winger inside, that's how you do it. You don't have your right winger drifting out to the left-hand side, but they just seem to want to have so many players on this left-hand side and then cut it back across the box.
Yeah.
Find it fascinating how they're playing. Beaver Jones on the ball now as Chelsea look to come forwards. Back to Charles. I'm sure we'll go all the way back to our goalkeeper, Hampton. Here is Bjorn. Back across to Hannah Hampton. And now Bright. And she can carry this ball forwards, looking for someone on the left-hand side. Goes to Charles. It's a little behind her, but she can find Thompson. And Neville deals with her initially. Out for a Chelsea throw. That's what Ash Neville's got to do today. Can't allow... as soon as Thompson is able to turn and square you up, she's won.
Yeah.
Because the fact she can go either way and the fact that she's quicker than Ash Neville, and again, she does really well there to jump on it, but it is now back to Charles, now into Thompson, who does really well to take it past Arsenal for Cuthbert now. He takes aim, it's blocked wide, and it's another Chelsea corner.
Really good again from Melissa Thompson, getting on the ball and just darting between bodies. Does well to ride the challenge. Cuthbert gets a decent shot away, a little bit too close there. Suna did well, got out and got her body in front of it, and Kopp couldn't save it from going out for a corner. But again, positive stuff from Chelsea. Exactly the kind of reaction we expected to see.
Erin Cuthbert laying it in towards the front post, headed up in the air and headed over the goal. But that will be another corner for the Blues.
Yeah, dangerous that. Millie Bright getting in towards that front post area. Got the first flick on, and I think it came off the shoulder of Ash Neville.
But so Chelsea again with this. And again, it's Erin Cuthbert. It's interesting Chelsea trying to load the front post. Ball floated in there, nodded on. Can anyone turn it goalwards? It bounced around, and then it's into the clutches of Lisa Kopp. But it's interesting to see because a lot of teams now are favouring going to the back post and heading it back across goal. Whereas Chelsea are looking to get the flick on that someone can then convert. It's actually, it bounced around because Tottenham were trying to clear it and cleared it into each other. Here is Artisan who receives it well in there, or Tamberg, sorry, then just gets pulled down by Natty Bjorn, who tracked her some distance into midfield.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting battle today. What Tamberg can do up against those Chelsea centre-halves. But it had a brilliant start to life in the WSL. But again, if Tottenham can get her in the game today, she's the kind of player that is going to keep things interesting and make it difficult for Bjorn and Bright.
Here is Claire Hunt. Now out to Nilden. It'll be forced back by Carnery. Finds Summerlin though, can knock it in behind, but to no avail as it will run straight through for Hampton. Phil says United could be 2 or 3 up already. Not a great start for Everton then, by all accounts. But yeah, no goals yet in the opening 10 minutes of this WSL Sunday. Here, Kira Walsh now on the ball for Chelsea, looking to start an attack. Carpenter out on the right-hand side. Naz across quickly. And that is then a Chelsea throw. Not sure how. A little bit fortunate there, because that was definitely Carpenter who knocked it off under pressure. Now straight to Viva Jones. Strong defending from Hunt. And now Nilden across her back line to Neville. Tries to find Wimberg. Cut out well, though, by Charles. Passed inside to Captine, who bounces it back to Walsh. Charles down the line. That's a fantastic pass into Captine in there, who can't quite hold on to the ball. And that is now a Tottenham throw on the far side. And it's Neville who will take. That's one hell of a pass, though, from Niamh Charles. Not something you tend to see a Travella from a left-back.
Yeah, I thought Captain did really want to bring it down, and then she seemed to just let it run off the pitch, thinking that...
That's a great turn there from Beaver Jones. Trying to shimmy back inside. There's just too many bodies for that in there, though, and Neville punts it clear. Vinberg into Summoner now, trying to go across to Naz. Does find Jess Naz, who can go one better now into Nilden on the left-hand side. And they'll come forwards with players on the left-hand side, Tottenham. But that pass through the lines cut out by Bright.
Yeah, Tottenham have got to be careful just to not force it in those situations. That was just a bit of a smash it through the centre of the pitch and hope that Naz or Tamberg could have got there.
That was more Nilden not wanting to have the ball
Yeah.
than her wanting Naz to have the ball.
Yeah.
And now Chelsea on the right-hand side. Here is Bjorn lifting it in behind. And Carnery now gets the wrong side of Amanda Nilden. Nilden does well to just knock her off. And then Hunt is there to sweep it up. But Chelsea are finding space in behind the fullbacks.
It's a really good ball from Bjorn. Great run from Carnery. Just spins Nilden. And I tell you what, Carnery does the right thing here and runs across Nilden. And it's a really good piece of defending. Because that is very easy to give away a penalty there when the winger takes... It's really good from Carnery. She takes her touch straight across the run of Nilden. And how many times do we see the left back just trip the winger up in that situation?
Absolutely. Header bounces around and it's claimed well by Kopp.
Chelsea are finding blue shirts with these corners, but no one's managed to flick it goalwards at the moment, or flick it goalwards convincingly. We've seen Bright, we've seen Beaver Jones, make that first contact, but they've not been very accurate. And again, you feel if they keep getting free headers in the penalty area from those set pieces, they are going to punish at some point.
Nice turn from Vinberg here, and Tottenham, the side on the attack. Can she pick out a team in the box? Goes to Katinka Tamberg, who takes aim. It's blocked wide, and it's a Tottenham corner now. The first time we've really seen Tottenham in the Chelsea half. Yeah,
it's really good from Vinberg. Great drive. Picks out Tamberg, who does the right thing. It's what she's done all season. She doesn't think about things too much. Doesn't overthink what she needs to do. Doesn't take a touch. First time, drills it hard and low and wins her side of corner.
And it wins a really important corner because Tottenham were really under the thumb of Chelsea in the opening 12 minutes. They haven't actually got out of their own half at all, I think. Whenever they have, it falls to Chelsea possession. So, winning a corner just relieves that pressure a little bit. And what can they make now of this set piece? Well, it's Summonen to deliver it in towards the penalty area. Punched away well by Hampton. England sees it out for another corner. Good goalkeeping there from Hampton. She thinks there was a push from Naz. It's strong goalkeeping anyway. There's no push, though.
Yeah.
Just good blocking, really. Someone's got to get in between Jess Naz and the goalkeeper.
Yeah. Really well done from Hampton. Tottenham just swinging it in the penalty area and putting it in the... You've got to put it on the goalkeeper and just hope someone can get in there, or the goalkeeper makes a hash of it.
So another Tottenham delivery then. And this one towards the back post, headed away by Charles. And Carnegie will try and keep this on the pitch for the Blues. Tries to come inside, and Artinen blocking our path. And it's out for a Chelsea throw.
I think both sides will be happy with how this game started. Tottenham, they're still level, and they're keeping Chelsea at arm's length at the moment. But Chelsea have started sharply. They've got forward. Just need to start creating some clear-cut opportunities, you feel?
Yeah, 5 shots so far, 0.4 XG, but only 1 on target. Need to test Kopp a little more. Tottenham, though, with just 1 shot in the first 13 minutes. Not bad. They've done focused on being defensively solid. Here is Hunt. Now Nilden. And it's back to Kopp. And Beaver Jones will look to put her under pressure, forcing out to the right-hand side. But Tako Koga is unopposed. Now to Neville. Who's going to go back to Koga, but that has invited a lot of pressure on them. Koga, though, very comfortable playing out. Is now playing herself into trouble, though, as Beaver Jones puts her under pressure out for a Tottenham throw-in.
Yeah, did well. I don't mind, did well, Tottenham, and then just played themselves in trouble there. Koga, you can't afford to turn backwards in that situation. When you're facing forwards, you've either got to drill it into the option low or just go up the pitch. Turning backwards there when you're already under pressure, you're just gonna keep running backwards. She did well actually to win a throw.
Now Neville there doing the smart thing and just getting that clear. Bjorn covers Bright well. Here is Walsh. She's dispossessed too easy though by Beth England. Here come Tottenham then, and they've got numbers forward. Summonen to Naz. Naz gets the wrong side of Carpenter, and that on the edge of the box is not great defending, and she will be booked for it. And I don't think she can have too many complaints. Naz got the wrong side of her there. And Carpenter fouled her to stop her getting in behind. She's fortunate as well that she's covered by Bjorn.
Yeah. It's wide and it's out of the way. But that is textbook Jess Naz. Where has that been all season? That's what we saw against Brighton. Does really well. Just gets the ball fed through to her and just runs side by side with Carpenter. I spoke about it earlier with Carney. Makes her run across the run of the defender. And that time, Carpenter just tripping up Naz. Really good stuff from the Tottenham winger. Another good breakaway from the away side.
It's a weird one, though, because Naz is going wide there. I'm not sure there was the need to commit that foul. Carpenter just got caught out and panicked. But with how wide she was compared to the goal, she would have had to take Carpenter on again to probably get a clear shot at goal.
Yeah, if you stand her up and she scores first time, then fair play.
Here is Summoning then with the free kick, drives it low and hard. And unlike her effort in this game last season, unable to find the back of the net.
That's a waste. That is a massive waste. You've loaded the penalty area up, you've got a free kick in a great position, and you just drill it hard, and not even hard, you just drill it low at the goalkeeper. And that's easy, straight into the arms of Hampton. That's got to be better from Tottenham.
Neville plays it forward into Vinberg, back to Ash Neville. And now it's with Artonen. And Beaver Jones wins it back, and here come Chelsea. Gives it to Thompson, who does well to blast past Artonen, and here come Chelsea now. Thompson cuts inside, lays it to Cuthbert, who can strike it. It takes a deflection off Summerlin, pulls back to Cuthbert, who can't quite adjust her body to strike again. Here's Bjorn. Now Walsh, back to Bright. And now Bjorn on the right-hand side. Carpenter down the line into Carnreid. It's knocked out of play, though, by Nilden. We've got our first goal of this WSL Sunday, and it's in the game between Everton and Manchester United. Everton 1, Manchester United 0. Hanoko Hayashi breaking the deadlock. And United with a poor start to that game then, despite early dominance.
Oh, Carnreid, that's brilliant.
Carnreid cuts inside well. Lays it across now to Charles, who gives it to Thompson, who could take aim. It's blocked wide. It's another Chelsea corner.
Yeah, if you're a winger, watch this football match, because we have seen some brilliant pieces of play from the wide players for both teams. And this time it's Carnreid darting inside, just runs past 3-4 players, lays it into Thompson, who is looking really sharp today. But wide areas is where you want to be at the moment. All four wingers have played very, very well so far in these opening 17 minutes.
And so corner now for Chelsea again, loading the front post, headed away by Neville, who got up well. Here's Thompson, lays it back to Cuthbert, back to Thompson, who puts it into the area, headed on, but wildly by Captain in there, and it's wide of the mark.
Yeah, it needs to be a flick on that from Vika Captain. Just try to head it on goal, and probably just need to flick it towards the back post. But United losing, that's a big goal. And maybe a bit of a sign of fortune, a turnaround in fortunes for Everton.
We'll put Everton 7th, a point off Arsenal.
Wow.
I love that that's now the yardstick for everything.
But maybe it'd be interesting. I mean, Phil's watching the game, so I'd love to find out. But from the lineups, it did look like a change of system as well, of going to a 4-2-3-1. Hayashi moved higher up the pitch into the 10, and she's found the back of the net. So maybe a bit of Sorensen magic there.
Either that or it could have been a 5-back, to be fair. But yeah, that. I'm sure Phil can let us know. Just I'm assuming with Robinson, how much she's played at right back. Ball in behind, and now it's Captain. Wants to take on Nilden, shrugs off Nilden well, and now we'll look to cut inside. Nilden gets back up and deals with a really good recovery there from Amanda Nilden, who lost the initial physical battle, but got back up and made the tackle.
Yeah, again, really good defending, really good play from Captain. And Nilden does really well to recover. These wide area battles have been absolutely brilliant to watch so far. Both Tottenham fullbacks under a lot of pressure, and both of them faring pretty well. This is an interesting routine. Ball in. He'll drop to Charles, who's got that one all wrong. I don't think that's what Cuthbert was signalling for.
Let's go back to Carpenter. Tries to play through the lines. Headed away by Vinberg. Drops for Carpenter again into Summonen. And Thompson now wins it back, but she drops it to Naz, and Carpenter manages to make up for it. Vinberg now chasing in behind, and Hampton will get it clear to the left-hand side where Bright is in space. Goes down the line into Charles, wants to take on Neville. Neville pokes it out of play.
So yeah, Chelsea from those corners then. Some hand signalling going on there from the takers. I'm not quite sure what that means as a corner routine. Yeah.
That was, I assume, some sort of like X run in the box.
No idea.
Didn't work. Ball out to the right-hand side, and now here's Carnreed running at Nilden. Can she chop back? She will not chop, but she does cut back. Now waiting for the overlap of Carpenter, and does find Ellie Carpenter here. Can she pick out someone in the box? Delivery towards the back post. Neville heads it away, cushioning it down to England, who hooks it clear. Bright now heads down to Bjorn. Now into Carnreed, who's adopted this right-back position for now. Finds Carpenter. Who wants to dribble at Nilden here. Nilden, though, stands her up and knocks it out of play. Phil said it's much more like a back 10, to be fair, in the Everton game. So there we go.
Big goal for them, though. They're obviously first game at Hill Dickinson today.
Here is Carpenter. Yeah, 17,000 tickets sold for that game. Brilliant to see the support shown to the women's game. Carnreed. I think Everton have done such a good job of promoting. Walsh in towards the back post. That's headed out of play by Neville, and Chelsea with another corner.
Again, well defended by Neville. Tottenham fullbacks have been absolutely key in this game. But it's going to be whether they can keep this up for the next 70 minutes. Because if Nilden and Neville keep getting ran at for the rest of this football match, they are going to struggle to keep Chelsea quiet.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think as well that if Chelsea can sustain these periods of dominance more and more as it bounces around the penalty area, Bjorn, that's cleared away by Neville.
I mean, yeah, Chelsea have had on average, Chelsea had a corner every 3 minutes. That cannot keep up, because if not, they will have 30 corners in this football match. They will score from one of them.
Ball into the box, and it's into the hands of Kopp. But I'm not sure, because none of these to the front post have worked, even remotely.
That is true.
Like, it's just not functioning. Nigel lets us know it's now 3-0 Barcelona. Brilliant. What a good competitive league. Kopp out to the left-hand side. Here's Nilden, and she can't chest it down. And that's out for a Chelsea throw.
Yeah, I don't think it's much to worry about for Chelsea. Halfway through this first 45 minutes, and people will look at the 0-0, and I'm sure they'll already have their complaints and things to criticise, but I don't think it's actually having a bad start. It's just clinicality in the final third. It's the same thing with the Twente game.
I think there's been a little bit of problems with chance creation early on here. Thompson cutting inside, plays it through to Beaver Jones, and Kopp will get out to it well. Pushes it to Neville. High pressure from Charles. That's how to play for a Tottenham goal kick.
Brilliant from Lisa Kopp. Does so well to get there. Because I think she gets there second, which is why she doesn't claim it. And usually when a goal kicker gets there second, they end up wiping the striker out. But she does really well to get that away and to halt Beaver Jones. Really good piece of goalkeeping. And again, we speak about the difference of what a quality goalkeeper can make in certain teams. And Lisa Kopp making the difference for Tottenham at times this season.
Bright heading it forwards. Sumner now heads it down to Walsh. And it's a game of headers that results in Bjorn having possession. Lifting it in behind, and Carnreed now running at Nilden. Tries to break into the penalty area, and that's out of play off of Amanda Nilden. That's another Chelsea corner as they look to keep the pressure on. Isaac got into the stream, says, do you think Man United will win? Probably. I don't think the early start is anything too concerning.
So Everton's defensive record this season isn't great. And yeah, you'd expect United's quality to overpower them soon. But surely it's got to be concerned that, again, they take out their most defensive midfielder and then they suddenly concede.
Yeah. Chelsea now. Corner goes short. Cuthbert to Thompson on the edge. Has Naz on her back. Goes to Carpenter. And that's a poor ball and cross. Recovered well by Bright. These corner routines have been awful for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Thompson. Walsh. Now Thompson. 8 corners and haven't looked like scoring from a single one.
I don't think you've had a shot on target from any of them.
Yeah.
And I think that's been the problem, is that usually what happens if Tottenham are doing very well to shut Chelsea down, but if Chelsea were creating chances from these corners, then Tottenham would be in big trouble because they've conceded 8 corners. That's the way Tottenham are dealing with Chelsea at the moment in those wide areas, is just to put it out of play. And that works while Chelsea are not scoring these corners. But if Chelsea start to actually put some chances, create some chances from these dead balls, then it's going to get difficult for Tottenham to defend.
Yeah. Back now to Hampton. Sky Hyun making a good point saying we saw a similar Tottenham performance in the game against Manchester City. Great first minutes, then the fatigue set in, and it was an embarrassing loss. Yeah, I mean, what we saw as well was that change to bring Caroline in, and she was just able to have such a big impact because she was much more direct than Hemp was. But I think that's why Chelsea used Thompson today, because she's going to be very direct. She's going to look to break in behind Neville, and Chelsea just haven't found her enough in possession. And almost went out for a corner, cleared away by Vinberg by Hunt for a throw. I'll probably let it go for a corner with how poor Chelsea's deliveries have been. But not had a play anyway. Carpenter. Now Beaver Jones. Carnareed. Looking to put the ball into the box. Nilden, though, holds her up. Carnareed now breaking inside. Clips it in there to Captain. He holds up back to Cuthbert, who will twist and turn. Looking to get a shot away. No room. Walsh strikes it. And that is blocked well by England. Out now to the left-hand side. Thompson wants to take on Neville. Has she got the beating of her? Tries to come inside. And it's a poor touch, and they can play out. Artinen onto Wimberg, who will now lift it in behind, looking for the run of Katinka Tamberg. But Hampton, out quickly to get there. We're not in Germany. Carpenter. Bjorn across now to Hampton. A gift welcome to the streets. It's just got your let's go, Chelsea. Well, it's not been a vintage 26 minutes, but it's also not been poor from Chelsea. They've had opportunities. They've had most of the ball. Just not quite been able to find the back of the net. Right. Now Thompson holds it up well. Lovely turn in there from Thompson now, who will look to take players on. Gets past Neville again. Ball across the box, and it's blocked well by Artinen. And Thompson there, down by the sideboards. But we'll be okay. That's a great run from Thompson.
Yeah.
Again, just get her running at Neville.
Yeah, it's so good. It's been so threatening every time. Tottenham are just going to keep putting out for a corner, but Chelsea have got to start being dangerous from these dead ball situations.
Well, that was the other thing where Tottenham were really hurt and City were really strong on in that game was corners. Ball in again from Chelsea. Bright will meet this one. It's blocked out. Can anyone turn it goalwards? Carnareed's effort is blocked, and it's another corner. Much better that time from Chelsea. Yeah,
just put it in the mixer, middle of the penalty area, edge of the 6-yard box, and just hope someone can get there. Bright does want to peel off England, gets it goalwards. Big block in there. It was Hunt who blocked the Bright header and then got across to block Carnareed's effort.
Ball towards the back post. Cops comes and tries to punch it away. Doesn't get it right. Gets away with it though. Cuthbert now on the edge one. Back by Wimberg. Bright with a strong tackle. And that is out for a Tottenham goal kick.
Lisa Kopp came a long way and got nowhere near the ball.
Yeah.
Got away with one there a little bit. But again, that's another 2 Chelsea corners gone and nothing incredibly threatening. This big tackle from Bright. Fair tackle. And Tottenham won't complain. They'll take the goal kick from it.
And now Tottenham can build out for on the back again. But yeah, 65% possession so far for Chelsea. 10 shots, but just 1 on target.
Yeah. Really poor again in the final third. Got to be more clinical.
Charles now into Thompson, who wants to take on Neville. Gets around her well. Actually got the beating of her. Neville recovers back. Thompson tries to put it into the box. It's blocked away. And Tottenham get it clear. Only as far low as Millie Bright. Walsh. Now Charles. Back into Alyssa Thompson. Gives it into Cuthbert inside. Now Bright. Ball out now to Carpenter on this right-hand side. He wants to chop in. Naslo stands her up well. Carpenter drives inside. Pass back now to Bright. There's dominance from Chelsea, territorial dominance, but they're just struggling to find that final ball and break down this Tottenham structure. Pass into the box now with Captain, who lays it to Carpenter. Back to Vika. Captain in the 6-yard box. Almost got to shoot. Takes too long and Tottenham recover back and it's played long. Bjorn will get there ahead of Tamberg though. Goes back to Hampson.
Vika Captain had to hit that first time with her left foot. She did the right thing. She let it roll across her body and I thought she was just going to drill this front post with her left foot, and then she took a touch and tried to get it back on her right.
On her right, yeah, that's the problem. Just got to back herself there on a weaker foot. That close to goal, if you just put it on target, you're at least going to make Kopp work for it. Bjorn. Carpenter. That's a great drive inside from Ellie Carpenter. Now can go back out wide to Carnereid, who can go back to Carpenter down the line. Lovely 1-2. Tries to cut it back across the box. Strong from Summonen. And I think it was Arson together there. Or Hunt, sorry. And that's out of play for a Chelsea corner.
Again, Chelsea looking sharp in wide areas, but not getting anything from it because Claire Hunt stood there in the way. Tottenham defending valiantly in this first 30 minutes.
What they're doing really nice is that the fullbacks are getting caught out for Tottenham, but the wide centre-backs and the wide midfielders are able to cover across quite well.
Yeah.
Ball into the penalty area. Again, though, Chelsea make nothing of it.
Oh.
And Thompson is done there. And it's a great drive here for Matilda Wimberg, who looked to strike it from range, but Hampton has got back into her net. And that is an easy save.
It frustrates me it frustrates me when players do that so often. It's just because they're breaking away. I know she's got no options, but just hold the ball up. Don't punt it.
She's against two Chelsea players.
You are never going to lob the goal kicker from that range. Ever. Unless she's stood in the middle of her half, then absolutely go for it. But she stood in the penalty area.
I don't think you're going to lob Hannah Hampton from that range. Here is Thompson. There are games this season where I would have tried that if I was Matilda Wimberg. Thompson tries to put it into the box. It's blocked by Neville. Another corner for Chelsea. And that is the 12th of this first half an hour. Got to make something more of these corners. Tottenham are very deep. They are more than happy to just sustain the pressure. But a corner or something which breaks the deadlock, just finding that goal will open this game up. Because then Tottenham suddenly have to play. They've got nothing to hold on to anymore. I think we saw that in the City game.
Yeah.
Ball in from Cuthbert, looking for Kopp and looking for a play in the box, but it's claimed well by Lisa Kopp.
Exactly.
And another corner goes to waste.
Exactly what she needs to do. That one was much better than the other one. She came the one a moment ago. She came out chasing and got nowhere near it. That one was a lot closer to her 6-yard box, but commanded it well. Got two hands to it.
Sky making a great point, saying Tinker's already scored a long range lob this season in the game against Everton.
Yeah, but
obviously that was a slightly different situation. Thompson gets the wrong side and Neville. Kopp out well though. And that is good goalkeeping from Lisa Kopp. And Thompson is down some discomfort. And I think it's because she's landed on that left wrist. Does seem to be okay though. No, she's all right.
Her ears. I don't know what. But yeah.
So she seemed to hold everything there, but yeah, just got caught up between Kopp and Koga.
Yeah. Neville got away with it. Again, though, Tottenham are doing well. What they've done is they've cut out all, and I've mentioned this other times this season, but it's just because this is the first time I watched Ash Neville this season, is that they've cut out the errors. Last season, when Thompson runs across Ash Neville there, she just takes her out and gives her a penalty. But she just stood her up, let her overrun the ball, and let Kopp pick it up.
Here is Hunt, and headed away. And that is another throw-in then for Chelsea.
I'm still convinced that's not Claire Hunt. That is
She's
not
so good.
That is not the centre half that started for Tottenham last season.
Carpenter directing to Beaver Jones. Now back to Captain. Here's Walsh. Trying to find a forward pass. Back to Bjorn instead. And now it's Millie Bright. Out to the left-hand side. That's over here. Thompson, though, is quick enough to recover back and picks up the ball. And I don't think she needs to slow that down there, but it goes back to Charles. And now Bright. Wants now to spread the play to the right-hand side. Here's Carnereid. Lovely poke through the legs of Nilden into Carpenter. Gets the wrong side of Naz. Ball across the box. But Beaver Jones can't quite do anything with it. And that is a good block from Carnereid, but it is with a hand. So that won't be allowed. That's a Tottenham free kick.
Yeah, again, good link up between Carnereid and Carpenter. But it's exactly what you spoke about. Jess Naz does so well to track the run of Ellie Carpenter. Just sticks with her. And she's cut it back to the players. Whether you've got to smash it across the box and let your teammates do the work for you. It's potentially, I think Arsenal's got away with one there because yes, Carnereid's handballed it, but Arsenal's tried to dink it over her in the first place.
Wimberg now for Tottenham. Now it's not dealt with by Chelsea. Does try to take on Charles. Ball into the box. Blocked away by Walsh.
Yeah, Bright there from the goal kick, just from the free kick. Sorry, just Cop punts it long.
Great distribution.
Oh yeah, it's a great knock, but Bright then just heads it backwards and straight into the path of Vinberg. And Tottenham's third corner of the game, which doesn't sound very many compared to Chelsea's 9 or 10. No, 12. Sorry, I think we're at now.
Sky Hyun says, what about Claire Hunt? Do you think she's doing worse or better than last season?
A lot better.
Oh, considerably better.
Much better.
She was a liability in that Tottenham backline last season, but she's just looked so confident, so assured of herself, so comfortable. Ball in towards the back post. England tries to head it towards goal. Carpenter gets it clear. Someone tries to keep it alive for Tottenham. That's not a good enough header away from Captain. Although from Nilden trying to keep it alive, and that's played in behind, looking for Thompson. Neville intercepts. Cuthbert now in possession. One back in there by Summoners. A little bit of a mess in the midfield at the moment. Arsenal gives away possession. They're trying to play out, and now here's Beaver Jones. Wanting to go to the right-hand side of Carnery. That pass wasn't on though. It's back now to Carpenter.
It's safe, isn't it, from Chelsea? It's really safe.
Now Thompson wants to take on Neville. And Thompson, well, Neville does enough there to knock it out of play. That should be a Chelsea throw, though. And it is.
I can understand Neville's complaints there, because I thought Neville has tackled that straight back into Thompson. That's how the ball's gone that way.
I was intrigued by Thompson even, not thinking it was a throw.
Yeah.
But it looked like a throw. Cleared away by Koga. Bright then wins the header. And Hunt gets it clear, and there's a foul in there from Tamberg on Bright. And that is a Chelsea free kick. Good area for this as well. And we saw a little further back, but not a million miles away, Beaver Jones score from this distance. That's a bit fortunate, I think, for Bright. She grabs Tamberg first. Tamberg pushes her back.
They're holding each other. It's not really Tamberg. I mean, I guess Tamberg's got a bit of the shirt, but especially because Bright wins the header. They're both holding it. If Tamberg wins the header, then okay, yeah, maybe. But yeah, I think Tottenham will be unlucky if this leads to a goal, because that's a very soft free kick.
I think if this leads to a direct goal from here, they'll have bigger questions over what's happened than if it was a foul or not. Beaver Jones will take aim, and that one, though, with too much lift on it, and it's over the bar.
Beaver Jones felt bad. She realised I had a free kick, so she thought it'd just loop over the goal.
Sky asks, thoughts on Koga this season? One of the best young centre-backs in the league. Looks really quality. I think, it's a very limited data set to analyse from, but I think she just looks really comfortable in possession. She's really good. She's physical. Yeah, just everything you need from a modern centre-half, really.
Yeah. Bar Tamberg, I think she's probably been Tottenham's best player.
I'd say she has been Tottenham's best player, personally. I think just a huge upgrade. Tamberg's definitely given them something different in attack, and I think, it's nice to not see Martha Thomas up front. But, yeah, I think Hogarth's been the bigger game changer, and I think she's brought the best out of the defenders around her.
Oh, yeah.
Here is Millie Bright. Pass out to the left-hand side. Charles now into Thompson. And here's Cuthbert, and she gets the beating there of Artinen, and she's brought down by Olga Artinen. And that is a Chelsea free kick right on the edge of the penalty area there on this left-hand side. Lovely move. And Artinen complains. I'm not sure how she can, though. Cuthbert gets the wrong side of her. And Artinen there just nudging her down. It's more of an elbow than a shoulder.
Yeah. And
no attempt, really, for the ball.
Yeah, she's gone to shoulder barge her, but she's also dived in. And if you dive in, you're going to be lower than the player you're trying to shoulder barge, so you end up just going into her side. It's a silly one to give away with only 6 minutes left of the first half, because it was a heavy touch from Cuthbert as well. May have even ran out for a goal kick.
Ball into a dangerous area. Cop, though, claims that one well. Bit of a waste of that set piece there. Cuthbert just trying to sort of a half shot, half cross. Claimed well, though, by Koga.
I don't think I've seen a side this sloppy from set pieces.
Now here's Carnery. So ineffective so far, yeah. Carnery into the box against Cuthbert now, but not able to turn it goalwards, and Tottenham now will break. Especially against Tottenham, because they're a side who have been really poor at dealing with set pieces. Charles. Now Walsh, and maybe been something they've been working on. They definitely look better defending than they usually do.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is because they've conceded the most set-piece goals from the start of last season up until now.
A lot of that is.
But yeah, I think they've conceded 11, and about 10 of them were from last season.
I love that from Beaver Jones. Stood behind the goalkeeper there, waited for her to drop the ball, and then tried to win it back.
Yeah, got away on the Lisa Cup. Why has no one on our team told her that the Chelsea striker stood behind her in a goal?
And now Summoning is down, and that'll give everyone a chance to take on fluids and a momentary rest. And Shara Welcome says, "Hey, my friend, what happened to Drew Spence, the Tottenham midfielder? She isn't playing today. Nothing sinister. She's just been rotated. I believe she's on the bench. Well, no, to be fair, she isn't on the bench. I'm not sure why. But yeah, she's been rotated out the side. Potentially an injury then. But
yeah, I think they've looked okay though. Arsenal and Sunderland have done pretty well. Still only the one goal. 40 minutes played in 4 matches across the WSL at the moment, and only one goal, and that is Everton leading United. Usually on these bumper WSL Sundays, we've got goals flying in left, right, and centre.
yeah, well, there's been one shot on target in London City, West Ham, and it went to West Ham. They've had 5 shots each, though. They just can't hit the target. And in Aston Villa Leicester, it should really be about 5-0 Villa. 11 shots, 6 on target, 2.03 XG, compared to Leicester's 1 shot, none on target.
Yanina Leipzig must be having the game of her life.
Well, we can have a look. She is on a 7.8 rating, and she's made 6 saves.
Should say, so yeah. Wow.
It's ridiculous.
Leicester hanging on by a thread then. Obviously, they announced the permanent, not signing,
appointment of Rick Passmore, a name which has, I don't know what you call it, but it's sort of the opposite of nominative determinism, where, you think Passmore, oh, he's Pep Guardiola, but he should be Rick Pass Less or Pass Never. Yeah. Because they've had the lowest average possession in the league this season by about 5%.
Yeah, he's done well, but I think short term it's interesting. But to sign him on a contract for 2028 is interesting, because if they're going to play like that for the next 3 years, they are not going to reign the WSL for much longer.
Yeah, I find it a little bit bizarre. Ball forwards here from Lisa Kopp, and Walsh there tries to deal with it. Wimberg loses out to Cuthbert.
Someone okay to carry on then.
Plays it down the line, and Thompson now again the wrong side of Neville, cuts across. Koga stands her up, but Thompson going towards goal, blocked well by Koga. Drops now for Cuthbert. England wins it back, and it's not quite clear. Here is Carpenter. Now Walsh gives it to Cuthbert, wider into Thompson, who will look to goal here, and she tries to lift it over the Tottenham defence. Carnereed will be hard pressed to keep this in play, and Naz sees it out really well. And that is a Tottenham throw. I think Thompson's got to do better with that one.
Yeah.
Got to take a shot or a lower cross that someone can actually make contact with.
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre because Thompson's getting the hard bit right. She's beating 2 or 3 players. She's wriggling out of tight areas. She's looking really dangerous. And then it's just that final ball. It's just a little bit wild at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a difficult one. Not difficult one.
HB says Thompson's been low-key wasteful, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think that's too wrong. I think there's lots... She looks raw to me.
Yeah.
A bit like Olivia Smith. A lot of people go, £1 million transfers, they should be the best players in the world. A lot of teams are now buying exciting young players. I think especially with Thompson deserves a little more leeway because she never played in the league before. I think there is a big difference between the WSL and the NWSL. But... yeah, I think with Thompson, there's clear quality, and she's got a lot of attributes that are really positive. But if she can just add that final touch and final ball to her game, the fact she hasn't got a contribution yet is a little bit disappointing. If she can add those to her game, she'll be obviously an incredible footballer. But that will come with time. She's got all the attributes to be a real star. She's rapid, great dribbler. Here comes Tottenham. Wimberg there looking to slip it in behind, and Bright smashing it back to Hampton, who very composed plays it straight into Walsh.
Hampton's done really well there. Bright's done well, to be fair, to get there, because the amount of times we've seen that kind of ball down the channel and she's caught her out, it's just done well to get something on it and poke it back to Hampton. But yeah, only additional minutes remaining then. Chelsea still level. Not bad, but still level.
Indeed. A cat's now is asking, is Tottenham that good? Well, they've been very good defensively. They've definitely been a lot deeper than they've looked in other games. I think you look at the City game and Ho tried to play a very similar high lines they've used all season. 2 minutes of additional time in this first half, by the way. In this game, they've definitely looked a lot deeper and had a lot less territory, I would say. Chelsea 68% possession. A lot of that has been in the Tottenham half. They've just not really broken through that Tottenham backline. But speaking of which, here come Chelsea. Ball lifting behind from Beaver Jones, looking for Carnegie. One back in there by Nilden, who'll try and play out now. Beaver Jones was brought down in there, nothing given though. And then launched forwards. Bright heading it, just about making contact with that. And then Neville here under pressure from Thompson scoops it up the line, and Charles will get there. Here is Cuthbert, lovely turn. Back into Walsh, who goes into Bright. Carpenter back now to Bjorn. She Aficionado says only 1 goal across all games is wild. Yeah, I think it's not too unexpected because London City and West Ham playing each other, and they've both been super wasteful. The fact United haven't scored against Everton is a little surprising. Villa have been so wasteful this season. Chance out for Chelsea, lovely move. Carnegie now breaking into the penalty area, scoops it well to Carpenter after an initial mistake. Ball chipped into the box, headed away. Got to make more of that situation again there, Chelsea. Walsh, Carpenter. Here is Carnegie. Wants to take on Nilden. Goes outside now. Wants to cut it into the penalty area. Headed towards goal. Beaver Jones tries to keep it alive. She's got players all over her there. But Neville does enough and England gets it clear. Here is Bright. Plays it into Cuthbert, who can turn in on the edge of the box. Wants to take aim. Gives it to Beaver Jones. Just trying to be too cute in the penalty area there. Walsh. Now Carpenter again. Wants to take on Naz. Has the beating of Naz. Gets the ball across the box. Hunt, though, just gets a little bit crossed up there and knocks it out for a corner.
Again, good football from Chelsea, but that whole move, not a single shot. No one's pulled the trigger. Got to do better there. You know, that was a minute, 2 minutes of Chelsea just moving the ball around, putting it in the penalty area. No one got a shot away in the whole move. Corner then to end the half. Chelsea's 13th corner.
Ball into the box. And it bounces through. It's the most in the first half of a WSL game in history. Most corners in the first half. You'll never sing that. Charles. Here is Bright. Strikes it and hits the Chelsea Football Club sign on the top of the stand. And that is the half-time whistle. Chelsea 0, Tottenham 0. The first half where Chelsea have had all the chances, all the ball, but unable to convert that into a goal. And all the corners, I should say, as well. 13 shots, just 1 on target. So wasteful from Chelsea in that first half. Over the next 15 minutes, we'll talk about all that and more. Let's start, though, with what Tottenham have done well, how they've managed to make life difficult for Chelsea, and we'll get to what Chelsea perhaps are missing. But Tottenham have been a lot deeper today and have nailed the narrowness and compactness that's become synonymous with Ho in the first few weeks.
Yeah, exactly that. We've seen a real good mix of defending from Tottenham, and that's been the main thing, is that they've defended as a unit, but also the one-on-one defending has been superb. What we usually see with sides that sit deep and narrow is either they defend well on their own, but the penalty area the box defending goes a bit wild, or they defend their box well, but if you can isolate someone, that's how you get in behind and cause problems. But Tottenham today, not only have they defended well as a unit and packed out the penalty area and made sure that they're organised and the line is level and that everyone's on the same page, but also the individual defending, especially in wide areas from Nilden and Neville, has been absolutely superb. They've done so well, because even when they're getting beaten, they've got players coming back in to recover, or they're getting beaten in areas that mean you're relying on Chelsea to put a wonder ball in or score a wonder goal. So it's been really, really good defending from Tottenham. I think they've done well because they've got the ball to Chelsea. They've let Chelsea have the ball out wide. They've dealt with them pretty well, mostly by putting it out for a corner. It's why Chelsea have had 13, and maybe on another day Tottenham would be in trouble if Chelsea had actually scored many of those corners. But while Chelsea aren't scoring from set pieces, just keep putting it out for a corner. Give Chelsea as many corners as you want. They've had 13. I don't think they've had a shot on target from any of them. So just got to keep doing what they're doing, and defending those wide areas has been brilliant. they have been getting beaten, and I said that those players have done well to recover, but can those players keep making those recovery runs and getting back in like that for the next 45
it's
minutes?
More the centre-backs and central midfielders covering it, but it's because of the system. I think there's an urgency. With low blocks, what you often get is teams that fall into this trap of we're a defensive team, so we're going to sit back and there's not going to be an intensity, there's not going to be an urgency. We don't want to play, we don't want the football, whatever. Tottenham, they've been different. They're rushing out. They've made 8 blocks in that first half because they keep getting out to Chelsea taking shots on the edge. I think it's a clear style of play. They just want to get the ball clear, and then obviously they're able to get out their own half. And I think 32 clearances very much symbolises that in the first 45 minutes. But this system is functional. It's making it very difficult for Chelsea to break them down. It's why Chelsea have had a lot of shots from areas that are not exactly advantageous because Tottenham have done really well defensively. So yeah, it's been difficult to break down so far. I think it'll be interesting to see what Chelsea do because they've got to be a little less static, a little bit more dynamic in the final third. I think we've seen a lot of times where Carpenter and Thompson have got the ball in wide areas and either the delivery hasn't been good enough or they've gone for goal they perhaps shouldn't have. And I just think that final ball is lacking at the moment from everyone on the Chelsea team. I think there's a little bit of Chelsea trying to play on the edge of the penalty area and these tidy little passes, but they're not pulling Tottenham out. And so I think there's got to be a more concerted effort to keep the ball at the back for longer, bring those Tottenham players out, and then break into the space that's left. But at the moment, Chelsea aren't really drawing Tottenham out because they're so high in that Tottenham half. And so they are able to just sit on that low block and no one's really breaking that down. What this game needs is a creative spark. This is a Lauren James game.
Oh, yeah.
Where she will get the ball on the edge of the box and either because she is Lauren James, they will have like 3 players on her and then that drags players in and creates space for others, or she picks up the ball on the edge of the box and she scores.
Yeah.
But Chelsea are just missing that spark at the moment that unlocks low blocks. But every team needs that sort of spark. I think as this game goes, Tottenham will struggle to keep the intensity to their system and the discipline with which they're playing at the moment. I think gaps will start to emerge in that backline. I think Chelsea will take advantage of that. I think it's been a problem at Kingsmeadow this season, and I think this is a problem with the ground, Kingsmeadow, it is a slightly narrower pitch than a lot of the WSL grounds. I think especially as well with the stadium, it makes it feel so much narrower. What I noticed in the Leicester game, what I noticed today is that there's not really too much different in how Chelsea are looking to play. There just seems to be physically less space to do it.
Yeah.
And it's so bizarre because obviously Chelsea want a really wide pitch to be able to play their brand of football, and teams against them want a really narrow pitch. So actually the ground in that sense is benefiting Chelsea. I think when you've seen Chelsea on the road this season or at the Bridge this season, they've looked better. Yeah. But it's the smaller pitches where they've really struggled.
Yeah, it's something that we've seen up and down the division when they've played at the smaller grounds. I think Arsenal moving to the Emirates has been a massive boost, not only for Arsenal, but
I think the Emirates is probably too wide. And that could be a bit of a problem as well at times. For Arsenal at least. I think that's how they get open, they get pulled apart a little bit.
I just think, the bigger pitches tends to be, better football, better quality football. You can be a bit more attacking. But to be honest, it has been hints of Arsenal from Chelsea today. All of the ball, but just not doing anything with it. And I think that Arsenal fans will be happy to see that at the moment.
I think the problem is you look at who's on the field today for Chelsea, and you've got Carneries, who is a great dribbler, but often doesn't have that final ball, often lacks decision making. You've got Alyssa Thompson, great dribbler, but that final ball, the decision making is missing. Who's creating the chance at the moment? Because there's a reliance on those two. Carpenter as well, her deliveries haven't been great in this game, whereas she's been really good this season. Yeah. Captain hasn't really got on the ball in the pockets at all this game, and I think that's been a huge problem. That because of how compact and narrow and strong defensively that Tottenham are, they're not able to pick out players in the pockets at all. So I think that has been a bit of a miss. And I think Baltimore as well, a bit of a miss for Chelsea. I think having that outlet on the left hand side, overlapping Thompson would be more useful, but Charles is just naturally a little bit deeper, and there doesn't seem to be much support on that left hand side for Thompson. Yeah,
it's been one of those where I think that you just watch back the highlights package there, and every single time Chelsea got the ball out wide, they managed to beat the fullback, and then they just punted it into the box where it was always met by a white shirt. Chelsea have got to find a way to get blue shirts on the end of these crosses, because when they are, they're just it's final ball, and again it all links together, because if you get the final ball right, suddenly Beaver Jones has got chances. You've got Captain on the ball again in the pockets and in the space, and it all comes together. But I think substitutions in this game are going to be absolutely massive for both sides. Chelsea to inject a bit of pace and a bit of danger into this game, but also for Tottenham, they have to get the subs right. You mentioned a few moments back about the fatigue and the gaps will open up, and that's why Tottenham have got to get it right. As soon as you get any kind of hint that Neville or Nilden are struggling in wide areas, or the wingers aren't getting back with as much urgency, then you've got to make changes, because all it would take is one bit of lazy defending or a winger not tracking back or something like that could completely undo this game for Tottenham. So subs are going to be crucial in this second half. Of course, that is something that favours Chelsea with the quality and depth they've got. But Chelsea need a goal. They need a goal from open play. It's been a while now since they've scored from open play, because Captain scored, after 7 minutes against Man United, and then the goal against Twente was a penalty. So,
what, the last time, it was literally last Friday?
Yeah, but when was the last time Chelsea did that?
No,
that's what I mean.
Yeah, I know. But one match where there was a penalty goal, and
but that's
against another United game, which was difficult.
But that's what I'm saying. Like Chelsea's levels, though. Suddenly they've gone one half and it's 0-0. 90 minutes in the Champions League where they drew 1-1, and again, nearly 80 minutes where they didn't score in one game. That's something Chelsea don't do. I can't remember the last time that's happened.
Yeah, Ryzen says Cat Macario on so fewer wasteful set pieces. Absolutely. Cuthbert now has delivered 13 corners and none of them have even threatened Tottenham. So that's definitely something that's got to change. She Aficionado asking if she can include us in a fans react video. Absolutely, as long as you tag us. Thank you. Thanks for asking as well, because we sometimes have accounts that do that. Don't tag us and don't ask us, so I appreciate that. But yeah, feel free. As long as you tag us, as long as you credit us, feel free to use our content. But yeah. Sonia's saying United losing. Sonia's cat, sorry, not Sonia Bompastor. She hasn't commented on the live chat. Not the sort of change of my life for the second half, just so you know. But Sonia's cat saying United losing, and we need a low block destroyer. Cat Macario. Yeah, so a lot of people calling out for Cat. I think that would be an interesting change. I'm guessing into the 10. I think that would then probably be a system change as well. I can't really see how you do that with keeping both the wingers on, unless you're going to take off Beaver Jones or Captain. But I think both of those have been such consistent performers this season. It's very difficult to take those off at half time. And I've also got both of them in my aerial fantasy, so they need to stay on for that reason as well. But yeah, I don't think it's all doom and gloom for Chelsea. They've had so many chances. I think as this game goes on, Tottenham will be a little easier to open up. I think they will tire naturally. I think it's a game where Captain struggle to be involved. It feels very similar to the Leicester game to me.
Yeah.
So potentially it's just not her game, and you take her off for that reason. But yeah, she's better when there's space in the pockets, and because of how deep Tottenham are, there isn't really space in the pockets. The space is in the wide areas.
Yeah.
That's why Thompson's looked quite sharp. It's why Carpenter's got on the ball a lot. But I think it's been a lot of wastefulness from players like Carnreed, like Carpenter, like Alyssa Thompson, who should be doing better in those wide areas.
And again for Chelsea, we know that as the game goes on, they'll get more aggressive. They'll throw more players on. They've got the subs to do it, and they'll put more numbers forward. Again, it's something we've always said with this. There seems to be very much a control element and a bit of a safe element to how Chelsea have played this season. It's what Bompastor wants, and I think that obviously there's nothing wrong with that. But at times it does lead to Chelsea taking the safe pass on and just recycling rather than trying to find that wonder ball through the lines and
sort of playing with a handbrake on almost.
Yeah, and I think that will, as the game goes on, as we've seen in the other game, Chelsea will go for it. They'll make the changes and they will become a little bit more aggressive. And once they do that, you feel that Tottenham will do very well to match that second half. And it's just whether if Chelsea don't up it, then of course then this game can end level. But the chances that Chelsea it's very likely that Chelsea are going to get better. And it's more likely that Tottenham are going to get a little bit worse. Not worse, but not as good. In terms of the way they defend. That was a brilliant first half performance. Is that standard maintainable against the pressure that Chelsea should be putting them under? Probably not. So yeah, I think it's going to be one of those where if the game will come towards Chelsea as it goes on and on, the game will come towards the Blues as the subs come on and changes come. So as you say, I don't think there's much to worry about at the moment. But I think Chelsea will want to count in the second half and get the goal early just to kind of kill off any Tottenham hope immediately. Because if Tottenham have 10, 15 minutes where they get back into that low block and they get back into their rhythm, it then becomes difficult again for Chelsea to get through them. But plenty of time for Chelsea to find a couple of goals here.
Yeah, indeed. And obviously, the rest of the games, we've seen one goal and it's gone to Everton, which is unexpected. I've only been watching the Liga Ref, where it's Atleti 0, Barcelona 6, because that's always a good league. I love leagues where first beats second 6-0. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the second 45. I think across all of the games, I'd expect Aston Villa will have to find a goal at some point, because they can't just keep having loads of really good shots and not score. Udina Leipzig is not superhuman. And I think United will probably find a way back into that Everton game. Everton have had just one shot since that goal. So, yeah, clearly United having a lot more of the possession. And then London City West Ham, well, one shot on target between the two teams. I wouldn't be surprised if that's 0-0. They're both poor.
Yeah, that's just something great, is it?
And Everton and United goal, not exactly the most vintage goal ever, a set piece not dealt with, and Hayashi lashes home on the rebound. But yeah, that's the only goal to speak of in this early 12 o'clock start of the WSL. Not exactly the advert you want for WSL's multi-view. You can watch all 4 games at once and nothing will happen.
Yeah, but it's got that kind of feeling where all 4 of these second halves could just explode, and we could see a flurry of goals across the grounds.
I think it speaks volumes at the moment of how tight the WSL is, though. That every match is fairly tight. Other than like at the start of the season when we saw United and Arsenal take on London City and West Ham, and Chelsea play West Ham last weekend and stuff like that, or the weekend before last. But broadly, every game now is super competitive.
Yeah.
I think it makes for a fantastic league. I mean, I say that now. City then will smash Liverpool 6-0 tonight or something, and then, that completely ruins that. But yeah, I think the league is really tight at the moment. To the point where I look at this afternoon's games and I go, well, I could see Brighton beating Arsenal. I don't think that's outside. I think that's very likely at the moment.
It's an absolutely huge game. I think for Arsenal, it's absolutely massive.
I think the fact they're back at the Emirates will help them. But
yes, it will.
Yeah. But Ryan says, I think we're overplaying Aggie. Yeah, probably. I was surprised to see her feature against Twente. As much as I had her in my UWCL fantasy team, I didn't think she was going to actually play. But I thought if she does play, she'll probably score. Didn't. But I think it's interesting. I think Kerr's obviously being eased back in gently. But how gently is too gently?
Yeah, it's been
Could
very...
she have started now? Because she's had a lot of bench appearances. Could she have got the start today? Probably. But I think maybe against Paris FC in the week could be a good chance.
Yeah.
The fear for Bompastor will be that it's now a must-win game, really, for the Champions League because of the draw against Twente. So potentially she won't want to take that risk. But I think Sam Kerr against Paris FC should be seen as a risk.
Yeah, that's the thing. At the end of the day, it really depends what you get. Because if it is prime Sam Kerr, then that is not a risk. That's an upgrade, if anything. But as you say, if it's Sam Kerr on an off day or still getting back to being sharp, then that could hurt them. But Chelsea, they'll want a big 45 now, but they'll fancy themselves to go and get a couple of goals in the next 45 minutes.
Absolutely. So Chelsea gets back on the way, Cupper knocks it back. We're back on the way here at Kingsmeadow. Chelsea taking on Tottenham, held all square at half-time at 45 minutes now to break down this Tottenham low block. Can anyone find a way through the deadlock? We'll find out over the next 45 minutes, and it's Chelsea in possession. Bright into Cuthbert, who manages to use that pass to take it past Arton, who drags her down. And potentially it changes hands, but it does drop then to Walsh. Now Thompson, who wants to run at Neville. Great drive inside. Here's Thompson, shifts it into Cuthbert, but she's just come back from an offside position. And so Arton into Wimberg. And Tottenham clear it away. Drops now for Bright, who tries to keep it in play. A bit of a miscontrol there from Bright.
I'm not totally convinced that Erin Cuthbert was in an offside position there. But
no, I thought she was a little gratuitous with how she...
Especially because there's no one else. I understand if you think you're offside and you leave it for your teammate, but there, no chance of getting played. So you just pick it up, you never know. Linesman might have closed his eyes or something.
Yeah. To be honest.
I'd like to think you wouldn't do that at the top level, but you never know. But yeah, Tottenham will just want to settle down in the first 5-10 minutes, get back into their rhythm, get back to what they were doing best in that first half.
Hampton. Now Bjorn. Back to Hannah Hampton. And it's Bright now. Do you think what United are showing today, because there's a few questions about it in chat, it's that they've had too much rotation, or that they perhaps don't have the rotation that is strong enough to beat teams in the way they would expect.
Yeah, we said it massively. Once Champions League comes in, it's going to be the biggest test for United as to how they manage both competitions. But yeah, today is proving that is going to be a difficult task.
Yeah, because I think Zigiotti's been absolutely crucial to how they've played, and the fact they haven't dominated that game in the way you would expect. I mean, still Everton haven't really come forwards because United are good defensively. Yeah. I don't think conceding from a set piece changes that, but perhaps they're attacking prowess without Park, without. I mean, I'm surprised not to see Bizet. Ball down the line there, running out of play. Thompson can't quite keep it in touch.
Yeah, I think we kind of learned that playing Mallard and Turland is an interesting decision. I think it's worked.
Mallard's okay on the left. I find it weird to play Mallard on her wrong side and out wide.
Yeah.
Neville. England now looking for the flick on. Doesn't really work out. Ball bounces around the middle of the park. Walsh now trying to get control of the situation. Back to Charles. Lovely pass in a Cuthbert. Back now to Charles. He will dart inside. Lays it to Thompson now. And that's blocked by Neville, and it's out for a corner.
Again, that is something that Chelsea are going to have to find a new route to, because they keep it's what they're doing in the first half, getting the ball out wide to Thompson, who would get to the byline, and Ash Neville would just stop her. And it's another Chelsea corner.
Absolutely. And, well, who is taking it this time? Can it possibly be Cuthbert for a 14th corner? I think it is. And it is. Ball into the box. And this one, much better, but headed over, or kneed over, I think, in there, by Natalie Bjorn.
Yeah, it's just completely misjudged the flight of the ball and jumped at it. Or not really, I don't really know. Not really much more she could do with that. Just couldn't get her foot. It was an awkward height, because there's no way she can get down to head it or anything like that. But she couldn't get her foot up to kick it.
Well, she's just not anticipating it either, because Bright... It looks like she's going to make contact with the head. Doesn't quite get there. Simonham. Now across to Arton, and Tottenham here with a nice bit of play. But that's overhit from Arton, trying to find Nilden out wide. And that's a Chelsea throw-in. Hampton. Lifts it out to the left-hand side. Charles now wants to shimmy inside. Flips it forward, looking for the runner, Bieber Jones, who will touch it onto Thompson, who does well there, measured against Koga, now darts inside, great drive, gotta finish this, Thompson, it's not a bad effort, Klopp held it and then spilt it towards her own goal, and had a little bit of a heart-in-mouth moment for the goalkeeper. This is great though, from Thompson. She realised she probably wouldn't have the beating of Koga there down the line, she comes inside between Neville and Koga, and yet just doesn't quite, again, get everything around the ball. Or get enough power behind it. But it does force Kopp into a save. And, I mean, shots on target at this point in the game are important for Chelsea. Give and go between Carpenter and Carnereid. Blocked back to Carpenter. Now back to Carnereid. Got to be a delivery into the penalty area. Clips it in there. Not a great ball, though. And it's headed and then cleared away. Bright tries to cushion it back into the box. Cuthbert now brought down the edge. Deemed a fair challenge there by the referee. And Tamberg spins Bright with ease, but it's back now to Charles.
Yeah, better from Chelsea. As you say, another shot on target. Getting the ball down, putting it in the area.
Indeed. Back now to Hampton. Now Bright.
18 shots for Chelsea, only 3 on target. Got to be more clinical than that.
And clipping it in behind now, looking for Carnery down the line. I don't think she's going to get there, though, and she won't. Slightly ambitious with that one.
Yeah. Carnery is quick, but not that quick.
No. So now Tottenham playing out from the back. David says Thompson needs the confidence of a first goal. Absolutely. I think that's the only thing that's missed, really, from our first few games in Chelsea colours, is that goal, or at least an assist, to be fair. Cuthbert wins it back. Carpenter back to Cuthbert. It's Walsh, now Bjorn. Turner's been subbed off for Jess Park as well, so United making an early change there. on about 50 minutes.
It's interesting.
Well, it makes sense. Mallard back up front and Park onto the right-hand side. Ball down the line. Great pass into Charles here. He's made the overlapping run. Wants to take on Neville. Beats her. Breaking into the box now. Puts it across. There's a chance now for Cuthbert, but it's blocked. I think Charles has got better options there than the cutback. Does now swing a ball into the penalty area. Cop claims that one well, though.
Again, 2 deliveries there that did well to pee out Cuthbert with the first one, but neither of them were incredibly threatening.
Great ball from Bright down the line. Charles here overplayed a little bit, wants to take on Neville, but does beat her just about. That's cut back for Cuthbert, whose effort was blocked. Tottenham here, dispossessed up the pitch. Beaver Jones in on goal, but it's just too far ahead of her, and it's into Lisa Cop hands again.
And again, it's things like that for Chelsea that they haven't even got a shot out of that scenario.
Yeah. Much better second half, though, already. 2 more shots on target, or 2 shots on target, which is double what they had in the first 45. Just got to keep it going. Here is Nas, though, trying to break forwards for Tottenham, cut out by Cuthbert. Now Tamberg, Surinam, cut out by Thompson. And here's Bright. Just probing forwards here, Chelsea. And Bright now through the lines into Walsh, who turns with elegance now into Bjorn. Out wide into Joanna Ritzing, Carneries, who wants to take on Nilden. Great burst down the line. Chops inside now to the penalty area. Great drive from Carnery. Still going Carnery. Cuts it back for Capson to Thompson, who can't quite turn it goalwards. Blocked away well. Nice move from Chelsea, but it just doesn't quite go. And then Neville launching it long for Tottenham. Bright wins the header. Drops now for Cuthbert, who goes to Bjorn. Now to Carpenter. This is positive now, and if Chelsea keep playing with this speed, Tottenham will tire quickly. Carnereid wants to take on Nilden. Chops back. Carpenter had to be touch and cross. Goes back, though, to Bjorn. Now Carpenter. Dummies the delivery. Captain to Carpenter. Back to Captain. Back to Carpenter. Lovely give and go in there. Ball cut across the box. Hunt, though, is there at the front post. Carpenter's also seemingly got 1 delivery. And that is that low delivery in towards the penalty area, which worked really well when you've got a side recovering back, but not when you're trying to break down a low block.
Yeah.
Needs more options, really. Charles. Into Thompson, who squares up to Neville. Wants to take her on. Does really well to beat her. Ball across the box isn't great. Headed back across, though. It's a poor header from Carnery. Should do better with that.
Yeah. Again, it's looped up from Thompson towards the back post, and just wrong decision from Carnery to try and head that goal was just never going to get enough power behind it. But better in the second half for Chelsea. Good first 10 minutes. Tottenham have been on the ropes and not really had an opportunity at all to come out. Both sides making changes.
Yeah, I think it's just Chelsea, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Because that is Matilda Wimberg just stood off the pitch. But it's Kat Macario coming on, and I think that's Neve Charles coming off. So presumably that will move someone to left back. It's not Neve Charles coming off, that's the wrong number put up. It's Vika Captain coming off then. So Macario will join Beaver Jones in attack. Still got the wrong number there. He's put up 8 for Cuthbert. But there are 2 changes happening, to be fair. So it's Neve Charles off for Villa Verman, and it's Vika Captain off for Kat Macario in the double change. I think that's important. I think Captain struggled in this game. Macario is the kind of player that will be dangerous in and around the opponent's penalty area. She'll take shots. And then Berman, presumably, this goes back to a 3-back then.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because I don't really think taking Captain off makes any sense then. But anyway, now Connery's playing as one of the 2 10s. Here is Thompson. Wants to take on Neville. Neville gets across well. Thompson does well to recover it. Fighting away now with Wimberg, who swings wildly at her. And now here is Cuthbert. who puts the ball into the area. Koga clears it away. Not dealt with fully, though, and Artinan can only get as far as Berman. Here's Walsh. Macario. Walsh. Bjorn tries to go into the half space there directly to Macario. Not a bad idea, just wasn't on the same wavelength there, Cat Macario. But I think it's weird. Why would you switch to the 3-4-2-1 if you're going to take off Captain? Surely you keep Captain on there.
Yeah.
And replace Carnery, because now you've got Carnery playing in a bit of an odd position. Anyway, needs a cop with a goal kick. And she will send it forwards. My only assumption is that it will be about 5-10 minutes before we see Hamano in this game. Yeah. There is a handball there, unintentional from Katinka Tambo, but it will be a Chelsea free kick. And so Bright on the ball.
Chelsea have just got to keep the pressure on. They've got to keep going at Tottenham. Make it, because it's that thing when it's when it's persistent is when Tottenham look really vulnerable. But when they do have these couple minutes where they can just rest off a little bit.
Berman, Thompson, Neville brings her down, and that is out for a Chelsea throw.
Yeah, another good tackle. It was a bit. I think that's one thing that is slightly frustrating about Thompson. There seems to be a lot of complaining and things like that.
Berman. Across now to Cuthbert. Perhaps struggling with the physicality of the WSL?
Yeah, true.
I think the NWSL is a league that's very much about individuals, I would say. And physicality is a large part of that, but perhaps just stronger players in the WSL, stronger challenges.
Yeah.
And less just given where it's just side-to-side contact. Bjorn launching it forwards. Macario flicks it on, trying to find Beaver Jones. Koga gets it clear. Here is Walsh. And England trying to force her back. Walsh into Carnereid. Wriggles out of trouble there. Now it's Bjorn. Horizontal pass into Millie Bright. Finds Walsh. Cuthbert. Walsh. Drills it out to the right-hand side. Carpenter. Lays it into Macario. Back down the line looking for Carpenter. Trying to put the ball into the box. It's blocked out for a Chelsea corner. Surely Macario is on this.
Yeah. Again, good football from Chelsea. But Tottenham doing well just to protect that penalty area.
No, Macario's in the box. So another Cuthbert delivery.
I mean, surely she'll get one on the money at some point.
Ball in. Headed on in there. Macario try and push it over the line. And it's cleared away then by Artinan. Here's Carpenter. Takes aim from range. Ooh. Not a bad effort. Just over the bar there from Ellie Carpenter. Struck it well. She couldn't quite keep it under the crossbar.
Sometimes that has got to be the route to goal in these kind of games. Just spins up for us so nicely to run onto. And just bang.
Not a bad effort at all.
Yeah. Just sat up. Did well to get under it, but not just lean back and see it sailing out the ground.
Yeah.
Got under it, but caught it well. And if that was a little bit lower and inside the goalkeeper, that would have caused cop issues.
Bright back to Hampton. Here is Carpenter. Down the right-hand side now. Into Carnereid. Who gives it to Macario. Great hold up from Macario. Who gets it back towards Carnereid. Someone will try and see it out. Ball across the box there. And it's cleared away well by Koga. Bright. Walsh. Strikes one from Walsh. What a hit from Kira Walsh. Opens up the space and latches it home. And it's Chelsea 1, Tottenham 0. The ball almost fell dead there for Kira Walsh. So still, and she just struck it with venom across goal. Wasn't closed down quick enough. Nothing Cop could do. Chelsea 1, Tottenham 0.
What a strike this is from Kira Walsh. Catches it so nicely. Doesn't try and overcomplicate it. Just drills it into the bottom corner. And it's exactly what Chelsea need. They've tried going out wide. They've tried to pack the penalty area. Walsh has other ideas, shimmies it onto her right foot, gets a bit of space and just lashes it across the goal. Such a good finish. Really, really good effort. That's in Cop at full stretch.
Just
Was
drills
nowhere near
it. The technique on this strike to get such pinpoint accuracy and precision while driving so much power. Perfect from Kira Walsh. And it breaks the deadlock in superb fashion.
Oh, boy, did Chelsea need that.
David says, I told you Sonia Bompastor should become a goal scorer. We have seen her in higher positions this season. And now Tottenham frustration coming out Nildum with a yellow card there. For a fairly innocuous challenge. Nope, not an innocuous challenge. The first one was fairly innocuous. And flying in. Didn't make any contact, but I think it's the intent there she's been booked for.
I have no idea how it's a foul.
I think the first one looked contentious as a foul. The second one, she's just gone in really aggressively. She doesn't actually catch the player, though.
Yeah, but it's not high or anything. Yeah, it's a weird one.
Ball into the box. Walsh now on the edge, just lifting it over the top, not able to find its target, and Tottenham will try and break. And here comes Matilda Wimberg. She's surrounded by 5 Chelsea shirts, though. And she hasn't really got anywhere to go. Equaliser in the game between Everton and Manchester United. That's now Everton 1, Man United 1. And it's Melvin Mallard with that goal. Neville floating it in there for Tottenham. Headed down, and Hampton commanding our area well. Comes out to claim it.
Yeah, Mallard put it through the middle and finding the goal.
Yeah, an important one, and that gives the United now 30 minutes to find the lead in that game.
Yeah. Big goals at the top of the table, and the games at the bottom end of the table seem to...
Villa are quite 2.59 next year to go up and score.
days.
Leicester have had 2 shots in the second half, which is double what they did in the first half. London City still haven't put a shot on target, and the second half there's been no shots on target in that game yet. Just so poor. I can't wait for the London City penalty that definitely isn't a penalty in the 89th minute to settle it. Berman tries to play it through the line. Similar though prevents it. Now it's with Wimberg. Artenham. Now England, and that's poked out by Thompson. Some concern though in that United game is Anna Sandberg down injured.
Tottenham change.
And they need a goal. So who else but Martha Thomas to come on, the player who did not score a single goal for Tottenham in an entire WSL campaign last season, on now for Jess Naz. Would you not look at Olivia Holt there?
I just don't know what to say anymore.
Or Maita Olos, who we haven't seen yet this season?
You, rather than bring Holt on, who's been absolutely brilliant this season, you go for a strike who didn't score a goal. How does that make any sense? On the wing as well. I mean, so it's going to see Sandberg out wide, but...
No, England's gone wide.
Why have they done
By
that?
the looks of it. Anyway, ball over the top, and that will run through to Kopp, who will see it out for a goal kick.
It's just wrong. It's just the wrong decision.
It's an interesting one. I'm guessing now they'll look to try and get balls into the box. I don't think England on the right wing is the best position at all.
I don't think Marta Thomas on the football pitch in a WSL match is the right decision either. But, yeah, I don't understand that. I really don't.
David says, would Chelsea look better with Germa, Bjorn and Berman than with Bright? Possibly. I think Millie Bright's still got a lot of quality, and some of the passes she's picked out today have been really strong, but I definitely think at times Chelsea are having to recover back when perhaps they shouldn't need to because of Millie Bright, but it's difficult. She's a great leader, great captain, cultivates the squad well.
Yeah, it's just one of those where I think that for 90% of the match she's good, and there's just that 10% where there's some moments, like in the first half when she headed it back to Wimberg. You do that against a better opposition.
Lovely give and go there between Carpenter and Macario. Now out to Carnareed. Tries to shift it inside. Read though well by Wimberg. Tamberg there gives away possession. Macario knocks into the box, headed away. It's a bit of a mess, but it's now won back by Berman. Chelsea looking to use this out to Alyssa Thompson. Wants to cut inside. lays it to the overlapping run there of Villa Berman. Cuthbert wins it back. It's given as a foul, though. Chelsea do score for good measure. Beaver Jones with the ball in the back of the net, but it will not count.
Yeah, just a bit too aggressive from Cuthbert.
Looks like the way Wimberg on the right-hand side. Then England in the 10 still. I'm not sure if it's Thomas or Tambo, but it's, yeah. An interesting front.
I have no idea.
Line. Anyway, free kick now for Lisa Kopp. Sends it forwards. That's how to play. Bit of a waste. Ellie Carpenter, by the way, did get the assist for that Kira Walsh goal. For anyone who has her in their aerial fantasy teams. Right there. Was fouled by Tamberg, but Chelsea hold on to possession. And it's not back to Hampton.
Assists are a funny thing. Because what part of that goal did Carpenter assist Walsh with?
Oh, exactly.
I mean, obviously, I guess...
Some people say assists are the most useless stat in football, but equally...
She did give her the ball.
Yeah, that is... But equally, you get assists sometimes that should be given as... It should be credited as goals. So... Yeah, where they play... I mean, like, they play not literally. I mean, it's such a good pass that it's made the goal.
Yes. That makes sense in that instant.
But, you know, you get someone who has a shot on goal and it deflects off their teammate.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So, yeah, assists are a fascinating statistic. I just think, like every stat, you have to look at the context.
Oh, yeah.
Some people blindly talk about expected goals like a team deserved to win the game. But XG is a really important statistic and one that, you know, we look at a lot in our analysis, but you've got to look at it in the context of the game and the chances that have had. Like Chelsea today, high volume XG, 1.99, but the chances haven't been created well. This has been probably Chelsea's worst performance of the season, I would say. Because I think even the Leicester game, there was good chances that just didn't go in.
Yeah.
But yeah, 23 shots and only 4 on target. We have finally got a goal in one of the other games in the WSL, and London City Lionesses lead West Ham by a goal to 0. Finally breaking the deadlock. Kosovare Asllani. Thompson cuts inside well, but that is a poor shot. And it goes wide of the mark.
Was it from the penalty spot?
No, just a well-worked move by the scenes of it. Into a good area.
So, the only game that hasn't got a goal is Aston Villa Leicester.
Oh, King Ajemic has got an error that led to a goal for London City Lionesses and down to 4.6. I'm going to guess that is something to do with King Ajemic.
Yeah. Yeah, so Villa, for all the pressure and work they've done, that they're involved in the only goalless game. Is Janina Leipzig still having an absolute blinder?
Well, she must be. Yeah, 8.4 rated, 7 saves in that match. Ball slipped in behind here, looking for Eva Jones. She is going to get there. Can she work into a chance? Good defending from Koga, and the offside flag is up anyway.
And that's the thing, Leicester are 20 minutes away from taking a point from that game. Yet they have been out of it for 70 minutes.
Yeah. Well, they're probably going to find a goal like they did against Liverpool.
Yeah.
Villa's been an intriguing one because I think statistically they haven't looked bad this season, but you've got to be concerned about the fact that they haven't scored enough goals.
Oh yeah, on pitch it's DePaul all over again. Brilliant performances, just no results. There seems to be a better atmosphere off the pitch.
Yeah, people are smiling.
Yeah,
but I think there is a difference. You look at the Arsenal game; that's a really well coached performance, and they deserve the draw. They have got some results. They've also had really tough fixtures. Today was a chance to finally get a win against an opposition they should be beating comfortably. And they've had all of the chances and just haven't put the ball in the back of the net. They're wasteful in the Chelsea game.
They did that.
Oh, that's poor from Hampton trying to play out under pressure. Strong, though, from Bright to nudge off Wimberg. And she's been given a foul there, and that's got a yellow card. If you give the foul there, it's dog foul.
That's an interesting one.
A weird one, because I don't think it's a foul. But if you give it, if you think this is a foul, it's a red card. Poor from Hampton. Bright comes back in. I think it's the shoulder there from Millie Bright more than anything else. She just tries to shield the ball.
I think she's got it right. I think it is a foul, and it's a yellow because Wimberg hasn't got the ball.
Right.
She hasn't. It's not like if Bright doesn't do that, Wimberg's through on goal or anything. I think it's right. It's on the line from Bright, I think it's aggressive, and potentially just the difference in size between Millie Bright and Vinberg is why Vinberg goes down so aggressively.
If she goes flying, but I don't think you can really consider that because that is just because she's about half the size of Millie Bright.
It's aggressive and Bright. I think it's why those people move on from unless Vinberg now puts his top corner.
Well, Matilda Vinberg and swimming over this. I think they're going to try and swing it in, actually.
Gotta shoot, surely. Come on.
Oh, Vinberg will step up now, take same. It's straight to all drops back for Vinberg. It's blocked her, and everyone tries to react, tries to turn it goalwards, and Martha Thomas puts it out for a goal kick.
That's defending from Thomas. She's got to leave that. The shout has got to come because would it have ran through to the players behind her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Koga and is it England?
Tamberg.
No, Tamberg. Both there.
Stood right there, and Thompson just flicks it away from her.
We have got another goal by the way in Everton. Manchester United. Everton 1, Manchester United 2. The goal there, an own goal from Hikaru Kitagawa. Thank you, by the way, everyone in the live chat that let me know about that. I was just waiting for the right opportunity when there's a break in the play. Here is Phila Berman. Back now to Hampton. Lifts it out to the right-hand side. Carpenter can't quite get there. Does fall down to Carnareed. One back, though, by Tottenham.
Yeah, Chelsea just got to be careful in this game that nothing silly happens now. Tottenham are just being a little bit more aggressive, you feel, a bit high up the pitch.
JJ says there definitely wasn't a foul. That's what I think, but Dermot Gallagher here. Always going to agree with the refs. Back to Cup now. Hunt. Summonen. Back to Hunt. He'll go back to our goalkeeper Cup. And now Koga. Lifting it forwards. Cuts out well by Carpenter. Definitely become more of a flat four since the goal for Chelsea.
Yeah.
And that is a poor pass from Cuthbert. Bjorn will work hard to try and get there. And she does and chops back inside past Thomas. Tries to play down the line. And has poked in well by Conread. And now back to the goalkeeper. So it makes sense then why they chose to keep Conread on if they wanted to go back to the 4-2-3-1 once they've got that goal.
Yeah.
I just find it interesting because you'd think 3-back would be the more defensive option, not the more offensive option.
Yeah.
There you go. Cuthbert. Now Walsh through the lines into Thompson. And it's Walsh again. Here's Cuthbert. Bright. And now it's Bjorn. Millie Bright. Obviously, as Aston Villa Leicester is 0-0 because of great defending and goalkeepers. Well, goalkeepers plural for these kind because Leicester have not had a shot on target, so not sure how much D'Angelo could have done in that game.
Is it D'Angelo?
Yeah.
Oh.
Eddie Roebuck is back on the bench today, though. What?
Was she not on the bench?
No, she had a knock. Just come back from that.
Oh, well, why didn't anyone tell me that?
Berman down the line to Thompson, who gets the wrong side of Neville. Looks to play across the box, and no one there at the cutback. Unfortunate there for Thompson, but just got that wrong.
Yeah.
Looking for the cutback, there's no one there.
No.
Bjorn.
Again, it's just final ball from Thompson, which is something that will come.
It's a mixture, because I agree, she shouldn't. The final ball's got to be better. There, though, where was her option? There should have been someone on the edge as well. That's the thing.
But then you don't play it. If you look up and see there's no one there, you don't just put it in there. You try and rework it or do something else. It's more final decision making, maybe rather than final ball.
And Michael Hill, thank you for the Farmers League update. Atletico Madrid losing to Barcelona. Carpenter now looking to break down the right-hand side. And Hunt gets it clear. Makara keeps it alive in the penalty area now. Cuthbert flicks onto Beaver Jones, who takes aim. It's blocked well by Koga. And into the class of Lisa Cup.
Chelsea had another option there if Carpenter wasn't just lying on the floor throwing her hands in the air. Really annoys when players do. That's not a foul. You've played the ball and get up and help your team. They've still got the ball. Unlucky though, Chelsea worked it well. And again, another big block from Koga.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is what I've said continuously this season about Tottenham, but Toko Koga, even when they lose, looks good.
Yeah.
And they've only lost in one other game. But even in that Man City game where everything seemed to just fall apart around her, she was still at a usual level.
Yeah, they've done much better, Tottenham, to stick together. as a defend as a unit. Once they conceded 1 goal to Man City, everyone it was like every player for themselves. They got completely torn open.
I don't think that's on Thompson at all. By the way, looking back at that, she looks at Makari. She anticipates that Makari will run, and Makari doesn't run. Got to burst into the box there, jogging on the edge of the box. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, you could say Thompson should have pulled it back into her feet, but then she's expecting Makari to run forwards.
Yeah. Double Tottenham change.
And so it is Gunning Williams on for Wimberg and Olivia Holt on for England. I think positive change, a double change for Chelsea as well. And it's Sam Kerr and Guro Reiten. Feels like we're harking back to 2021.
Yeah.
And hopefully they can find the performance level from back then. Because we haven't really seen that same from Reiten. Especially. And obviously Kerr through injury. But change now. And it's Thompson off for Reiten. And Sam Kerr coming on for Aggie Beaver-Jones.
Yeah.
She hasn't had a lot of chances in this game, Beaver-Jones.
No.
Another one where she's a little bit quiet. I think she's done well with the limited touches she has had.
It's the kind of striker that she is. She's more of a classic poacher. You get the ball to her in a good position, she'll put it in the back of the net. But is she going to get involved and create chances for other people? No. Is she if she gets the chance, she's going to absolutely take it.
Ginola, welcome to the stream. Says if this was under Villaharm, Tottenham would be losing about 4-0. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here come Tottenham. Tamberg won back well by England, and now Reiten knocks out to the left-hand side. Sam Kerr will try and get there. Up against Neville now. Kerr tries to beat her down the line. Neville, though, does really well to stand her up. Now Tottenham to the right-hand side. Launched forwards there. Into Tamberg, who holds it up well. Summonen can't quite hold on to that. Now it's Artinen.
The one concern for Chelsea, for me, it's just got to be that it is only one. And with the attacking power that Tottenham do have on the pitch, just got to be careful.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Really good from Olivia Holt.
Holds onto the ball really well. Now Artinen. And now Wimberg. Not Wimberg, sorry, it's just come off. That's Nilden. Hunt. Holds onto the ball, looking for some support out now to the left-hand side. And it's now Amanda Nilden. Cut back, though. Doesn't quite work out. Carpenter wins it. Drops in there for Carnery there. Now Bjorn. Who says, I was trying to read this one out, it's just gone. Game is always changing. Bright offers very good organisation. She's great for first contact and dealing with threats in the box. Not easy to replace, especially in the women's game. I think that Goma can be that, though. Goma's still got a lot of development to do, and I think first he needs to work on her fitness. But again, though, that's partly down to Bompastor. Got to just be careful with her when she comes back. I think we're seeing with the dealing of Sam Kerr, though, that perhaps gaining a better understanding of how to ease players back in.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's been a weird one because for some players, Bompastor's rushed them back and probably been a bit too quick. For people like Sam Kerr, I think you could argue it's probably been a bit too slow to integrate her. So yeah, it's been usually you either see a manager, usually manager go one way or the other.
And there's a foul in there from Macario on Artinen, and that will be a Tottenham free kick.
Chelsea won't mind that because Tottenham stand the ball and we're running away.
But yeah, Ramirez. James in there as well, watching on.
The quality on that injury bench for Chelsea. I'm sure Gurma's around there somewhere as well. You put those three players on the pitch and suddenly every game looks looks much more comfortable.
Yeah. Ball forwards, great chest down from Tamberg. This one back by Reiten, and then a foul there from Gunning Williams. But it's Berman who comes away with the ball, and she beats one, tries to beat two. It's dragged down. That will be a foul. I don't think that's a foul for the second one, but I think it was a foul initially.
Oh yeah, 100%. But she's played the advantage.
No. There's two then in that second one there.
Oh, was there?
Berman's driving forwards. Player came across, and then Gunning Williams tried to nudge her down.
Yeah. Gunning Williams trying to get herself about though and be aggressive.
Yeah, don't mind it. Someone wants to be involved.
Yeah.
Bright. Shift across now to Bjorn. Walsh. Back to Bjorn. Looking now for a forward option. Walsh. Back now to Carpenter. Now, Stabby says, I bet Neville is so happy she doesn't have to be dealing with Thompson's pace anymore. Well, yeah, Thompson's beating her every time. It's just that final ball that's lacked today for Alyssa Thompson. You know, if she created better chances, Chelsea would have had about, another 3 or 4 great opportunities. But just that poor end product has been a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Ball down the line. Thomas holds it up well. Now Nilda. Pass across now for Koga. And she shifts it back to Hunt. Out to the left-hand side. Ball swung in there, and that's headed away well by Berman. It's going to drop now for Neville, and that's cleared away. Simonon. Now Neville. And it's now Toko Koga, who will swing it into the box. Bounces around. Cleared away well by Carpenter. Now Walsh. Into Kerr. Dragged down by Koga. Chelsea free kick.
Yeah.
Great hold up by Kerr.
Yeah, really, really smart. It's exactly what Chelsea needed because Tottenham were Tottenham were going for it. They sense an opportunity, and it would be against the run of play. But all they need to do is find a way to somehow get that ball in the back of the net. They've got the players to do it. They just need to create an opportunity. They need to find an opportunity. For Chelsea, it's been controlled, but all it takes is a moment of madness. Just got to be careful now in the final 6-7 minutes of this game.
Carpenter. Now into Cario, carried it forwards well. Here is Carnareid. Tries to go down the line, carrying that ball forwards. And then it's dragged down. It's another Chelsea free kick. This game's starting to look more like rugby with the amount of fouls Tottenham are committing just to slow Chelsea down at the end here. It's like carry the ball forwards through bodies and eventually get dragged down and then reset.
Yeah.
Bill says everything people criticise about Bright has been levelled at Renard for about 5 years and she's still going strong. I think there's a difference. I think Renard is not as slow as Bright is. I also think Lyon are very good at how they're able to build the team around that or just design the defensive structure around that. They've got players alongside who are very good at recovering. I know that is what Chelsea is now starting to do as well. Ball into the area. Measured on, but wide from Kerr. I also think the fact that she plays in the Premier League helps. Because it's not as difficult as playing week in, week out in the WSL.
Because that's the thing. At the end of the day, Renard only has to maintain a world-class level in the Champions League games. Because, yeah, again, you can argue the harder games in the Premier League, but then they went and smashed PSG 6-1. So she could have turned up at 50% in that one.
I also thought Lyon looked better with Sombath in there at the end of last season.
Yeah.
I think France were probably better for it at the World Cup.
Maybe Lyon should give one of their centre-halves to PSG.
No.
Because PSG cannot defend this season.
They don't let anyone.
No.
They sign all of their players. And here, Kira Walsh. Literally this summer, Michelle Kanga signed the 3 best PSG players to her various clubs.
Yeah.
That's just that's the point. Macario, great hold up there. Now looking to switch the play. That's a great knock into Wrighton, who beats Neville well. Now darting inside, bounces around. Cuthbert wasn't aware of it, and it goes through to Lisa Kopp. Another goal in the game between Everton and Manchester United, and it is apparently Jess Park, isn't it? Jess Park with a goal set up by Ella Toon.
No equaliser then. Still no goal for Villa in Villa Leicester. It's actually another clean sheet this season for Leicester. Rick Passmore 101 on how to defend.
Great from Cuthbert, battling away, beats Koga, tries to beat Neville. That's one too many. She already won 3 tackles. She wasn't going to get a 4th in there. But yeah, 5 minutes left in this one. Make sure you join us as well in 30 minutes' time as we begin coverage for Arsenal Brighton. And then, of course, later today, Liverpool versus Manchester City, the quarter-5 kickoff. And then Bright physical up against Tamberg and nudges it into the line-out. But everyone seems to be okay. There's a Chelsea throw.
Yeah. Again, Chelsea just controlling this now.
Berman throws it forward into Kerr. Can't quite hold it up. And Koga now back to Kopp.
I have to say, putting all 4 games together, I expect to see a lot more goals.
I expect to see some goals. There have been no goals.
That is true.
This has had 1 goal. London City's had 1 goal. United Everton's been a good game, but only because Everton scored first and made United come out and play. And Aston Villa still are not beating Leicester. They've got close to 3 XG now, 2.9. 60% of the ball, 15 shots to 4, 7 on target to none. How are they not winning? Change now for Tottenham, and that is Grant coming on for Neville, I believe. No,
Nilden.
Number 6.
Good performance from Nilden. Played very, very well. Had some brilliant pieces of defending in there. And a very good 87 minutes.
And Bright getting it clear. Wrighton looking for the flick on it. Bounces around in there. Wrighton does try and nudge it down. Doesn't quite work out. And here comes Tottenham. Great drive forward from Holt. One back though by Chelsea. And now Carpenter goes back to a goalkeeper and lets Chelsea reset. Hampton. Here is Bright. Out now to the left-hand side. Berman tries to touch it on. Not a great pass. And it goes to Martin Ho. Instead of a blue shirt. Grant. Headed forwards by Berman. Now Bright. Still bouncing around. Macario flicking it around the corner into Kerr. Great hold up from Kerr. Then knocked out of play by Grant. So Chelsea throw in now. Ball in towards Macario. Now Cuthbert. Looks right. Goes back to Millie Bright, though. Now, there's only a minute left. Chelsea seemingly just winding this game down. As they wind it down, though. Oh, we'll wait, because Wrighton's into the penalty area. It's blocked. As they wind it down, United seem to be turning the dial up, as it's now Everton 1, Manchester United 4.
Wow. Exactly what United need to do.
And it's Jess Park again.
Yeah. Alyssa Thompson, player of the match.
Both look positive, but no end products for me, so...
That's in the 5 shots ranks first in the game, but I don't think only one of those shots was on target.
Yeah, I would probably go Cuthbert. I think the corners have been painful, but...
They have been painful.
Ball in towards the back post, headed back towards goal, but it is over the bar and into the crowd and thrown back to Lisa Kopp.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it?
I mean, Walsh has been good and got the goal, which is important.
Yeah.
I don't like giving it to players to just score a goal, but it was a great goal and she was good in the rest of the game. There haven't really been other standouts for Chelsea. It's not been an incredibly dominant... Oh, not incredible performance. It's been dominant, but yeah, it's not great in front of goal. Now, 4 minutes in this game. Ball thrown down the line. Gunny Williams tries to flick it past Berman. Drops in midfield now to Macario. Bjorn. And now Carpenter. Here is Hannah Hampton. Head out of play by Grant, and that now is a Chelsea throw. And change coming now for Chelsea, and it's a return to action for Lucy Bronze. Coming on at right back in place of Ellie Carpenter. Carpenter got an assist today overall, though not a fantastic performance, and to call that an assist is kind. But a clean sheet, can't really complain.
Yeah, good to see Bronze back. Deserved the rest, come back from injury, back in a Chelsea shirt, and that's going to be a very interesting rotation for Chelsea to see who plays what between Carpenter and Bronze now.
Yeah. Ball lifted forwards, spread out play by Bright. Now, Grant. Simon flicks it forwards. Bright does really well there to extend the leg and get in front of it. Carnery beats Neville. He's now driving away with Neville and Thomas in pursuit. And now knocks it back to Bjorn. Bronze. Back to Bjorn. I think that rotation at right back is also going to be really important for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Another option as well at right centre half with Bronze when they play the 3 backs. So, yeah, it's going to be important to have her back. Still Chelsea without the likes of Ramirez. Nuskin still coming back. Kerr still recovering. Obviously, Kerr now back to playing, but still recovering. James still out injured. Gomez still out injured. It's easy to forget because of how deep Chelsea's squad is, the number of injuries they have had at the start of the season.
Yeah. Because the majority of those players, you'd probably say, would come back in and start at full fitness. I mean, James would be the first name in the team sheet.
Here is Kerr. Looks to beat Koga. Koga as well, though. Now back to Lisa Kopp. And away by Walsh. Arsenan. Walsh flicks it forward. Second the run of Kerr. One back though by Tottenham. Here's Arsenan. Thomas. Forced backwards to Summerlin. Now Neville. Thomas inside to Summerlin. And that will go back now to Bjorn, who's under pressure. And Cuthbert does well and draws the foul.
Really good from Cuthbert. And that should be it, really. Chelsea have done well. Got the goal and since then just controlled it. It's been measured.
Yeah, never looked like conceding in this game, and that has clearly been the focus for Chelsea this season, bringing more stability. And I think there's still problems in attack, but I don't think it's anything that won't be fixed with time. Well, yeah, I'm not gravely concerned about Chelsea. This extends the run now to 30 matches unbeaten under Sonia Bompastor in the league, which is just an insane record. Punt long there by Hampton will drop for Cuthbert. Knocked out to the left-hand side. Chelsea looking for what would be just give them a bit of a cushion at the end of this game. Ball played in behind from Bright. Carnage will try and get there. Can't quite keep it in play, and that may well be the last action of the game. And it is indeed the full-time whistle here at Kingsmeadow. It's Chelsea 1, Tottenham 0. A result that maintains Chelsea's advantage at the top of the WSL means that whatever happens this weekend, they will be leading coming out of the weekend. 16 points now to their name from 6 games. A good start to the campaign, and 2 points dropped so far this season. An important return to winning ways after 2 draws, 1 in the league and 1 in the Champions League. Still not convincing in the final third, but an emphatic win. Yeah. Well, not emphatic win, sorry. A dominant performance and a narrow win for the Blues. I think the fact that it was only 1-0 speaks more about how far Tottenham have come. Last season, this game was 6-2, I believe. That is a stark contrast to this performance where Tottenham were really disciplined, really regimented, and made it really difficult for Chelsea today. So, yeah, props to them. We're going to go and take a break for 20 minutes. Head on over to the next stream page. We live for Arsenal Brighton at 2:15 for the half 2 kickoff. That was everything for now, and we will see you shortly.